Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
The mysterious Graham Box from More Beer brings you this Brewing Network Sunday session. See the Graham Box affordable control unit at morebeer.com.
I poured it in my mouth and it just wasn't going down.
My first beer was an IPA, the best IPA I've ever drank. Mostly because I brewed it.
If you have a scale that is good for measuring cocaine, you're probably good for measuring hops on cocaine.
You're scaring me.
I think the information is awesome and the audio sucks.
Make some sugary water, throw some yeast in there, and you're going to drink good beer. Yeah, it's going to be good. It's fine.
God damn it, man. Oh, my God. Oh, uh-oh.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
I'm back. I'm whole again. I'm in one piece.
Why?
My lungs are still
iffy,
exiting my body little pieces at a time.
You don't need them anyway.
Coughing up lungs.
I went back to the good doctor this week. I got my gold tooth.
Oh, where is it?
Put in. It's in the top, right? Air.
Oh, yeah, there it is. I'm sure I'll feel it later.
It's in the back. It's not all ghetto. I can't smile and let people see it.
Most expensive grill in Pacheco now.
Oh, it's the most expensive thing I own, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, if you ever hit hard times, you can sell it.
Oh, I've already taken it down to the pawn shop just to know its value.
Yeah. Had you get Doc to install it so you could remove it easily later, just in case?
I forgot to ask about that, actually.
Quick disconnect.
Not only did he do that, but he fixed my chipped grill that I chipped at the same time that I busted open my eye, which is also healed.
Did he use super glue in the process?
All in 1 week. He did not, but I am happy to report that super glue is effing amazing.
Fucking did it, huh?
At fixing shit. Huh. Not even a scar. You can't even see it. Look at JP.
Yeah, what even happened?
What
Nothing
the hell
even
did
there.
You do?
Can't even see it.
Why do I not know about this?
It's like the future.
Because you weren't here last week. But
I was here, and I don't even know about it.
Well, remember, I blacked out, and I fell, and I chipped my tooth, and I cut my eye.
I didn't even know about that.
And so...
What?
You didn't say blacked out on the air, but okay.
Oh, I didn't?
No,
oh.
right here.
I wasn't
so...
How old are you, by the way?
I don't know. I can't remember.
All right.
Doc filled in the front tooth, though. It's better now than it was before the chip. It's the squarest tooth I have.
Oh, see, that's why I leave right away.
Yeah.
I saw that coming.
So he fixed that. My eyes all better. The only thing left is this goddamn lung disease I have.
And your heart.
I'll probably still be coughing into the mic today. You'll have to forgive me for that.
Great.
But the other thing about me, since I've decided that the beginning of the show from now on is just going to be about me.
Right. As opposed to the other beginnings of the other shows.
Not like how it used to be.
Right.
Where it was only a little bit about me.
Yeah.
You know. So I think I'm losing.
What is it this week?
Well, I think I'm really turning into a chick.
Really?
I'm glad you finally realized that.
Why?
That someone
I've been saying that for years.
Are you watching Say Yes to the Dress a little too much, or
no?
I love that show.
Oh, but you know what I do love?
How do you know you're a chick? Things I get it.
All right, here I'm gonna quiz. I bet you Scott's the only one in the room that's going to know what I'm talking about when I say GTL, baby. GTL. Anybody know that?
It's retard internet speak, isn't
Oh,
it?
I know.
Come on, Vivo, give it to me.
Gym, tanning, and laundry.
Yes!
See, I didn't know that.
So the first reason that I know I'm totally turning a chick
It's
is
pumping like champs.
that I can't get enough of this awful show, Jersey Shore.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen the Jersey Shore on the MTV?
Yes. On the television?
Yes.
MTV.
On the music television?
Train wreck.
It's all these New Jersey guineas. Like, guineas like my family type of guineas, like real guineas.
Yeah, so you can say that.
And I just love it. They're morons. They're idiots.
They really are.
And I can't watch enough of it. They're such idiots. And two of them, every day, they do GTL. GTL, baby. And they go to the gym, and then they tan, and then they do laundry for that night out. And it's GTL every day.
Every day is GTL.
Every day is GTL. So I like that. So I know. So partly I'm turning a chick because of this reality television show addiction I've grown, and then I can't. I'm living on smoothies right now. I can't drink enough smoothies.
Wow.
I go
Are
to
you pregnant?
I don't think so.
Fresh fruit, farmer's market smoothies.
Welcome to my world.
Yes, not even. See, it started with the Jamba Juice. Wow. And now I've moved from the Jamba just to go into the farmer's market and getting my own damn fruit.
Well, good, because Jamba does add sugar. So some have up to 300 grams of sugar.
Yeah, but I get the all-fruit smoothie.
Is it organic?
It's not organic, but now that I'm going to the farmer's market, it is organic, which is a little more vagina-like of me.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Wow.
So I'm talking 3 times a day I'm having smoothies.
How are your poops?
They're smooth. I shit more today in one sitting than I ever have in my life.
Not eating enough fiber, I would imagine.
Well, now I am.
Yeah, well, now you are, yeah. That's why I say it's always better to eat the fruit than to drink the juice. But since you're just blending it all up,
it's all the same.
Great. Yeah.
And the last reason I know that I'm really turning into a chick...
You like cocks in your face.
No. Oh. A lot of chicks don't like that, actually.
Really?
I don't know.
Turns out they're not such big fans.
Is that really? Is that?
It's not just you.
Oh my God, JP!
All my internet dreams have been shattered right now?
Yes.
No.
I like this song. This is how I know I'm gay.
Oh, Christ.
Oh, wow.
Love this song.
This new Eminem song.
Eminem's changed.
Who's the broad singing?
Rihanna.
I
Which is
thought
actually
so.
funny because this is a song about domestic abuse.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is why I think I like it. It's really angry, and at the end he threatens to set her on fire. And I like that. Because I feel like he's being honest.
He really wants to.
I can't tell you what it
Chris Brown did it that one time.
Right. And Rihanna's pretty hot, too.
Right.
She has a sexy voice. So I'm really a sissy because I like this song, though, right?
Well, no, because it's an Eminem song.
Yeah.
He just made a bad choice in putting a broad singing in there.
I kind of even like the whole album. Is that all right?
The Eminem album or the Rihanna album?
The Eminem album.
Yeah, that's
good.
always fine.
It's way better than Eminem's last. And you know what? Did you like Stan, the one from 10 years ago? That had the chick singing.
I did like that one,
So
too.
did everybody. I don't think that
Well, that
makes
was
you a
just
chick.
on the hook, though, right? Is that what they
Well,
call
that's
it?
all this is. It's just a little mini chorus.
It is. And it's the broad that makes it happen. She was the one who made me like the song in the first place.
And Dido did the same thing with Stan. So, you know, he's
And the video is actually super hot. Megan Fox is in it.
Hang on, shut up for a second. Just feel it. Just let it move you.
It's moving me, all right.
Just let it get in you.
You can feel it getting in you.
Yeah.
A little too much, maybe. That is a little weird.
Who's in the video?
Megan Fox.
Is that the Transformers broad?
Yeah.
Yep.
She's nice.
It's a good video.
See, that's not chicky about me that I really want to nail Megan Fox.
Who doesn't? She's on my list.
I've never heard her. Never seen her.
You never saw Transformers? What kind of kid from the 80s are you?
I knew it was going to be a fucking vomit fest.
It actually wasn't that bad.
That's what I hear, but I refuse. Because I've seen the ads, and it was all like everything's real blurry and fast, and I want to see the things transform. But instead it's just a blur, and like, I don't care. I don't care about the story. I want to see how the robots move, but...
You want to hear the end where he talks about lighting a bitch on fire?
That's a really dumb question.
I know is I love you too much to walk away though. Come inside, pick up your bags off the sidewalk. Don't you hear sincerity in my voice when I talk? Told you this is my fault. Look me in the eyeball. Next time I'm pissed, I'll aim a fist at the drywall. Next time there will be no
Well, yeah, she probably threw his keys or something.
Justin, I will give you $20 if you learn the words to that song and rap it at karaoke. Because that would be rad.
Do I have to do this part too? The Rihanna part?
Of
You
course.
can have JP do it.
Yeah, I'll do it.
With auto-tune, you'll sound great.
I should do it with auto-tune.
Great.
We need to do a whole BN song in auto-tune.
Should.
You know?
It has to be a T-Pain song.
Yeah.
I'm on a boat.
It's like every song's in...
You heard that song?
No.
T-Pain song?
Is it good?
It's just, he's just
horrible.
saying he's on a boat.
The whole time?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
And I don't know. Yeah, I think it, look for
How do you
I'm on a
spell
boat.
T-Pain?
Just I'm on a boat.
T and then dash pain, P-A-N.
Yeah. I think it's TEA. No?
Yeah.
Not T-Pain?
That's the
Nope.
British version. Let's see.
But I did a search for it, and the first things, everything that comes up is all like parodies of the song.
Right.
But look for the T-Pain. I'm on a boat.
It's really god-awful. I don't know how it caught
Of
on
course
like
it
did.
is.
I'm high. That I gotta see that one. I'm sprung.
I'm on a boat.
I'm in love.
No, on a boat.
I don't see it here.
Really? You typed in
Maybe
I'm
it's just
on a
called
boat.
On a Boat.
I'm on a boat. Oh, you gotta go to YouTube, maybe. That's where I saw it.
This is good radio.
I'm on a boat. It's a big blue watery road. You don't know.
Who was it? Was that
that
Nicole singing that?
That's what
I thought
wait a
Justin
minute.
found it for a second.
I was looking around.
I'm glaring at Bevo.
I thought it was Chad, actually. I'm looking around going, who the hell's singing this song? Chad likes that kind of stuff. He doesn't tell anybody, but he does. He's got
I know I'm on a boat.
I don't know. Put that microphone closer.
You really were serious when you said that there's cultural illiteracy abounds
In
this
here.
room. People don't know anything.
No, we don't know anything around here. We're
I don't know it either.
I'm in little
pop
microcosms.
culture retards, except for
Yeah.
Bevo, and she's retarded about her pop culture. Right. Yeah.
Ask
just
me
know-
any Glee question and I will have it.
I just know good pop culture.
No, you don't.
I really do.
I don't think so.
No, I was watching Jersey Shore the other day.
Oh, see?
Last night, right?
And did you like it?
I didn't know about GTL.
TL.
I knew about MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
MVP, that's right.
I want to drop a bomb on that house.
That's why I like it so much.
I hate it
I
so
know.
much.
I know. It's really irritating. And one of the girls is hot, too, and I like that. She's like
None of them are.
dirty Italian broad.
I heard that they were there's a show called K-Town that's being shopped around now around Hollywood, and it's like the Asian version of Jersey Shore. It's
Oh
called
my
K-Town.
gosh.
Really?
And there's a guy on there called the Situation.
Ah, instead of the situation?
Yeah. The Situation.
Ugh.
How awful is that?
That was.
And just
Makes
threw
me
up.
That just
throw
made
up
me
your
stupider.
fried rice.
All right, we do have a beer show planned for you today, believe it or not.
Do?
Yeah.
Let's just do reality commentary.
Right.
Say yes to the Dress Atlanta. Awful show.
I haven't seen that.
Oh.
Let me do this, JP. Shut up for a second. Let me at least announce what we're here for.
All right.
Nicole is in the room with us today, and we're going to be talking about Cicerone and tasting beer. Ray Daniels will be joining the program here in just about 15 minutes. He, of course, is the author of Designing Great Beers and the founder of the new Cicerone certification program. Been around for a couple years now, I think, year and a half or so. And Nicole is a certified Cicerone, is that right?
Correct.
A real, live, certified Cicerone right here in the room. So, I know it sounds silly to some of you beer guys out there when I say we're going to learn how to taste today, because you might think, well, you know, I just drink it. I don't know how to taste. I have taste buds. But
I've judged before.
Right.
Yeah.
But, you know, there are ways that you can appreciate your beer a little more and learn about your beer as you're tasting it and kind of really get involved in the experience rather than just quenching your thirst. And Nicole's going to help us a little bit with that today. So she's hanging out. Nate's filling in for Doc.
In the dock chair over here.
Yeah.
Out of camera range, but in punching range of Nicole, which is great.
Don't light her on fire in here, though.
Oh, I
You
gotta
do
wait till
that in
later.
your own house.
Yeah.
Better start drinking now.
Yeah, I don't even have renter's insurance. I don't need any bitches on fire in my studio. You know?
Oh, God.
Didn't we just get criticized on our own forum for being misogynistic on the show or something?
We did?
Really?
Who reads that thing?
I think we did. I can't believe they would say something like that about our show. Right? We have Bevo on the show.
Yeah.
That makes us... She's like our gay friend. You know?
Now we have Scott.
You know, it's
I'm
like...
kind of more of a boy than some of you.
Right.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have license now. My roommate's gay, so I crack homophobic jokes all the time.
I have a black friend.
Yeah.
I saw a Jew guy once.
Yeah. Well, we have a Jew producer now.
Oh, see? Maybe he was.
We're
what I was
pretty
thinking
much
about.
allowed
I believe
to
it's a
make any joke,
Traducer.
We have a
Juducer.
The new Juducer.
Wow.
Shit, I got to get your business cards changed now.
Juduce.
The Juducer.
It sounds more Italian, really.
Yeah.
A Juducer. You Juducer.
Right.
You still haven't found I'm on a boat
I
yet.
sent you the I'm on a boat thing.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Is it
I'm
a link
on a
to
boat.
it?
Yeah, it's a link.
I'm on a boat. Right?
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard it, yeah.
See, how has Tasty heard it?
I don't know. How is that?
Might have been on like Tosh.0 or...
It's a Saturday Night Live thing.
Yeah, didn't
They did.
Andy
I think
Samberg do it?
I think that.
Yeah.
Did he do it, or did they do a documentary? Not documentary. I don't know. Cover.
No, yeah, I don't know.
Is
It was
it a
something
real,
like
like, fake song?
I think it was. I think he parodied it.
Ah, there we go. That's the word I
everything's
was
a
looking
parody, yeah.
for. I can't think.
No, T-Pain was on SNL. There it is.
This is just the SNL version?
This is the version.
Oh.
This is the only.
I got to watch all this before we get to the goddamn song?
All right, for 3. Get your towels ready, it's about to go down. Everybody in the place hit the fucking deck, but stay on your mother.
Why they got to use that language?
I don't approve of
We
it.
running
I
this
really don't approve of it.
I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Everybody look at me, cause I'm sailing on a boat. I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Take a good hard look at the motherfucking boat.
I can't even see T-Pain. This looks like a tuxedo.
Yeah.
Floating on a boat on the deep blue sea. Busted by night, wind whipping at my coat. You can't stop me, motherfucker, cause I'm on a boat. Picture trick, I'm on a boat, bitch. Drinking Santana champ, cause it's so
Is it T-Pain or is it the guys from Saturday Night Live?
It's both.
T-Pain's on there.
T-Pain's in the
the
background
terrible
going.
auto-tune.
I'm on a boat. No.
I'm on a boat.
Maybe that's really his voice.
You think so? He's interviewed. Well, I really don't want to talk about it.
That's all I've ever heard.
Like if he's spoken to an auto-tuner, he'd sound normal.
Yeah.
Right.
That's right.
It equalizes.
That's the opposite effect.
I don't know why that caught on. It's not clever or funny or interesting or fun to listen to.
No.
Obviously, I'm the only one of that
You
opinion.
guys are so
Everyone seems to love it.
wrong. It's
Nicole
so
loves it.
Yeah, she does. And
Really?
she's
It's no
represents
dick in
the
a
majority.
box.
No, but really, what
That
is
was
it?
Not much
fun.
it is.
Dick in
No.
a box, but it's
And Jizz in My
Out there.
Pants, that one was good too.
That
I
was
like that.
awful.
I didn't like that one.
What?
No, because once you do the dick in the box, I feel you can't do a fake funny rap song again.
I think that
you've done it once.
That's too cathartic for you. That's the problem.
Maybe.
Do you think Ray knows that we were going to make dick jokes for a half an hour before we got to the
Has he ever
episode?
heard the show?
probably
program.
not. He's a classy guy.
He's a sponsor of the program now. I
Won't
should,
be able to get a hold of him come 15 minutes.
He's on the wrong show.
I should point out.
Dabbing the sweat away from his forehead, going, "Oh Christ, what did I do?"
He's heard the show
What did I
before.
do?
He knows. Those are the guys you got to watch out for. You know, they're the one you think they're all nice, like John Palmer, right? You think he's
Yeah.
the nicest, sweetest guy in the world.
Yeah, but he's a cross-dresser. It's really
Yeah. Oh, he's got a porn collection like you wouldn't believe.
boner jams, baby.
John Palmer cornered me at 21st Amendment and told me he's like on the no-fly list now.
No. You're talking about John Foster.
That's who. You're right.
Yeah.
That is who I'm talking about.
John Foster is on the. He got banned from everything.
I heard about that, and I kind of didn't understand.
I didn't really understand it either.
Oh.
What I did understand is that I found out 5 minutes before I was supposed to webcast the BN anniversary party with his equipment that he was sitting at the 218 having a beer.
Yeah, with.
I found out via
Twitter
that my video guy wasn't going to make it. Anyway,
It happens.
it's a whole other thing. I need to set someone on fire.
Let's go get a whore.
All right, so we're going to do tasting beer tonight. Couple of announcements. Let me get through everything I can because I do need to get to Ray quickly at
They're used to it.
5:30. All right, the Brewing Network and More Beer, the sponsor of the Sunday session, will be at the Eat Real Festival, which is at the end of this month. It's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, let me see, 27th, 28th, and 29th.
We'll be on a boat.
Yes. You can go down and watch More Beer brew on one of the all-new More Beer sculptures, and you can check out the Ultimate Conical down there, and then we'll have our booth set up. I'm going to try to make Bevo work in a bikini.
Good luck with that.
Selling T-shirts and things like that. So come down and see us at the Eat Real Festival at Jack London Square in Oakland. It's a good time, and you can get your hippie on down there because it's like local food, and Nate will probably be there eating vegetarian shit. So, when's the last time you had a piece of bacon, Nate?
Piece of bacon. The 80s.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
The 80s?
Yep.
How old were you?
Probably about 14, 13.
That's when you decided meat wasn't for you when you were 14?
I was right about then.
That's too early. You don't know anything. You could be
I don't
wrong.
know what the hell I'm doing yet.
You could be wrong.
Could be. See this
Whatever,
nugget?
Mr. Smoothie.
They keep telling me
right.
They keep telling me that's the gateway drug, that I'm going to stop being a vegetarian someday, and bacon is what's going to win me over.
It does it every
That's
time.
what people keep telling me.
I've
But
known
it
a lot of
hasn't happened yet.
vegetarians. Aren't you vegan too? You're even
No,
worse.
I'm not vegan.
Oh, you're not vegan.
I eat honey. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Fuck the bees.
Yeah,
Right.
They're too dumb to know what's going on anyway.
All right. I'm being told by Sarah, who works for Ray, that she warned Ray about us. So I think we're all right.
Anytime you get someone, anytime you get Sarah warning you about someone,
right?
You know it's a bad sign.
That's bad.
We should warn Ray about Sarah, too.
That's a good point. All right, we'll also be at the Great American Beer Festival. As always, you can come see us there. I think even JP's going to bring his ass out there this
To
year.
where?
GABF.
Oh, I don't. Maybe. Yeah, I'm going to try.
Get you on an airplane.
So come see us out there.
Can't
and
get to there on boat.
No, can't boat there.
I'm on a plane. I'm on a plane.
If we do a song, will you go?
Somebody get me off of this plane. Are we going to
Why don't
GTL
you just
before
take
GABF?
We're in
Amtrak or
GTL
something.
every day.
Every day, yes.
MVP, baby.
I bet Tasty knew what GTL is.
No,
he's
I did not.
He's
no.
being coy over
No,
there.
I've never seen the program.
You own season 1, don't you?
I'm
He
getting-
invented it. What are you talking about?
I should maybe, because it does sound interesting. Everybody likes it.
Situation called him up.
No.
Like, yo,
But-
T, what's up?
But
I need
like
help.
it, like
Don't go it.
we don't really like it. It's
I know you're appalled by it. That's what you
Awful.
enjoy. Yes, I know.
In a really good way.
Tasty gets the joke, Bevo.
shut up, JP.
All right, so come see us out at GABF. Also, new Sean Paxton show, The Home Brewed Chef, is beginning Thursday, August 26th at 6 p.m. right here on the Brewing Network. Everyone's very excited about it, man. It's going to be a good show. Go to the store. You can get merch, T-shirts, stickers, books. You can go to iTunes and get the Brewing Network app and listen on the run anytime. It works wonderfully. And it's only like $1.99, and that helps us out.
Or on the walk.
You can get all of these announcements by signing up for Twitter. Go to twitter.com/Brewing Network or to our
I'm on a book.
Yeah, you can go there and get information that way. If you subscribe and join the BN Army, you can do that with as little as $2 a month, recurring donation. It enters you into the More Beer donation giveaway, which, by the way, is happening tonight.
Ooh.
We are giving away a hop back,
Out of stock.
a More Beer hop
have it.
back, and a More Beer hat.
Don't have it.
So 2 of Tasty's favorite things, hats and hop backs.
Yeah, great.
Here, this is it.
So if you...
Organic cotton.
Nice.
Is it?
Yeah, see, right there.
Nice.
Motherfucker.
Beautiful. All right, so...
They look really nicely with their smoothies.
The only way to enter into the monthly raffle is to subscribe to the BN Army and give us some cash. That's how that works. All right. Send your feedback over to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. Send your show ideas to Scott@thebrewingnetwork.com, or if you can't remember that, you can still send them over to Chad@thebrewingnetwork.com, and he's helping us.
If you can't remember
tough to
Scott.
remember.
Hey, man, you've met our listeners before.
It's like 5 letters.
Who's surprised here?
Just Jew at the Brewing Network.
I should have
Changing
changing it today.
Wow. Redheaded, soulless creature.
Changing it today.
I love
That
her.
will now also... I'll leave Scott, too, for your business connections, Scott.
Right.
But the listeners, you can now go to Jew@thebrewingnetwork.com. Would you prefer it be The Jew, or is Jew fine, Scott?
I think The Jew is actually better.
It's better.
Scott,
Yeah.
Scott the Jew?
Scott the Jew?
Or
He
just
the chosen
Jew?
one.
Well, he is the Jew.
The Jew.
The Jew.
Not more than one.
I would love it. At GABF, I can hear it already. Oh, you're the Jew.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I drink only schmaltz.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I think that should be the first show that you book.
Schmaltz Brewing Company.
Yeah, I've actually, I want Jeremy in here anyway. He's a funny guy.
Yeah.
So I'm being serious right now. I think to test your booking skills, get me Jeremy from Schmaltz.
All right.
That'll
on.
be the first show that the Jew produces for
Yeah.
us, books for us.
Little hook hands on the mouse and book them.
All right, Shat, do you have some announcements for us over there? We got to get to that. Shat's announcements are brought to you today by Brewmaster's Warehouse. You can go to brewmasterswarehouse.com and check out their Brew Builder software. It's a piece of cake. You just select all your items for a brew, and at the end, they're in your cart, and they've made a recipe at the same time, and it's really cool. All right, Brewmaster's Warehouse.
All right. Real quick, AHA rallies, August 21st, Naked City Brewing up in Seattle. That got canceled. I wanted to bring that up. So that's canceled. August 21st, Naked City. For some reason, permits didn't go through or some weird kind of thing. Anyway, that's not happening. August 29th, Avery Brewing in Boulder is happening. AHA rally. November 6th in Maui. If you live out in Maui, they're having a AHA rally. Check it out. AHA club-only comps coming up are Sour Ales on September 9th. Emerald Coast Beer Festival coming up on September 10th. That's taking place in Pensacola, Florida. Go to emeraldcoastbeerfest.com. The National Organic Brewing Challenge taking place this year, 4th annual. That's going to take place on October 9th. Actually, they're taking entries September 1st through the 9th. So get them in. Go to breworganic.com for all the info. NCHF, September 17th through the 18th. Let's see, nchfinfo.org for all the updates there. I believe, what is it, Tasty? The Stern Grove, not Stern Grove, but who's putting on the dinner this year?
Well, the resort is. The Lake Francis resort people are putting the dinner on.
Oh, yeah, because Paxton's not doing it. Yeah, because they wouldn't change the date. We can't go because it's during GABF. And I'm going to say right here to anybody from the NCHF listening, I'd love to come back to your festival. Move it for me. You know?
Yeah, same weekend as GABF.
Move it. Thank you.
November 6th, the 32nd annual California State Homebrew Competition is going to be taking place. They always do the awards at Stern Grove in San Francisco. It's a good time. Go to nchfinfo.org for the info on that one as well. Then the Queen of Beers is taking place on October 23rd. Registration will be up on hazeclub.org. Then October 2nd is the Wootown Brewers Homebrew Club Barley Legal Homebrew Comp. They're accepting entries September 11th through the 25th. Go ahead and check out Wootown Brewers Homebrew. First annual Michigan Homebrew Festival is taking place on the 21st, next weekend. Go to michiganbeercup.com and click on the awards ceremony tab at the top for all the info. That's all I got.
All right. Okay, Shat's announcements brought to you today by Brewmasters Warehouse. Go to brewmasterswarehouse.com and check them out. Thank you, Shat's. Crotchrod is telling me that M&M and smoothies, not only am I a chick, I'm a teenage chick. He's going to start calling me jailbait.
Oh, that's pretty hot, though.
Jailbait does mean I'm hot, right?
Right.
I like that.
Or maybe that just that you're barley legal.
Nah. I don't like that one, barley legal.
Really, me and Beaver are in a drinking club called Barley Legal.
Didn't he just read something like some other club called Barley Legal?
Yeah.
No,
I don't know. I tuned out.
Barley Legal.
I auto-tuned out.
Bevo's the head of barleylegal.com. It's half-naked chicks rolling around in grain.
That's right. That's how we roll.
There's an idea whose time has come.
Oh, man.
They have like the chicks on the cover of High Times. Why not some chicks holding some hops, you know?
I agree.
Over the nipples.
That's great.
Have a hot bikini.
Nicole likes this idea, I can tell. All right, I got to get us to a break so that we can come back and go to Ray Daniels from the Cicerone program. We'll be talking to him in just a second. Hang in there. It's a whole show about how to taste beer. It's amazing that we're doing this. And Nicole Ernie is here with us. She's a certified Cicerone. When we come back, Ray Daniels to tell us all about what the Cicerone program is and why we need it. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Hey, Push, the new brewery's looking good.
Thanks, Finn. Piece by piece.
Well, let's fire her up. Whoa! Is that a new kettle?
Yeah, just got it brand new, but paid half price.
What? And that blade scale?
40% off.
The new tap handle?
$5 instead of 13. Got a new regulator for the brew stand, too, but $5 instead of 25.
Dude, where are you stealing all this stuff from?
Where else? The More Beer deal of the day.
Announcing the Beer, and More Beer deal of the day. Every day, a new fantastic deal from big items to small that will blow you away. Boil kettles, carboy carriers, sterile siphon starters, digital timers. Watch morebeer.com every day for a new deal, and you just might find the item you've been waiting for at a price you cannot believe. Hurry, because stock is limited on most items.
And that sweet Guinness cap, let me guess.
The More Beer deal of the day.
Yeah, I knew it. Come on, let's brew something. Find the More Beer deal of the day at morebeer.com. Celebrity voices impersonated.
Nico, listen, our lawyers said that we had to do this for 1 hour, and after this, we don't have to talk to each other for 3 more months to the next meeting.
Kids, come on, let's get out of here.
I'm supposed to have more lines. I'm the professional. Hey, it's Sully.
And I'm Nico.
And we opened the 21st Amendment 10 years ago at 563 2nd Street in San Francisco, just 2 blocks from Giants Park, to make great beer and have a great time doing it.
That's right, because to us, the 21st Amendment is more than just the right to make beer. It's the right to experiment, to be innovative, and just do things differently. And so now, we're putting our craft beer in cans.
That's right, cans. You can find our world-famous Hell or High Watermelon Wheat Beer at Brew For Your Die IPA in the Northeast, Northwest, parts of the Midwest, and Alaska, in cans and on draft. So next time you're at your local neighborhood pub or good beer store, be sure to ask for 21st Amendment in cans.
Because everyone likes it in a can.
Tasty crack cans.
Tasty crack can.
Hey, what are you doing, man?
Writing a review of WLP 400.
What? You're reviewing yeast?
Yeah. White Labs has home brewer reviews of all their strains. Are you new to these interwebs? Check it out.
That's awesome.
White Labs, your source for great yeast, invites all brewers to visit whitelabs.com to read and write your own reviews of all their yeast strains. Get real-world tips and tricks from other brewers who have made the most of their vials and post your own experiences. It's another way White Labs brings you closer to the best yeast on the planet.
And send. There you go.
You misspelled flocculate, dude.
What?
White Labs. It's all in the vial.
When I order a beer, I want my server to know more about it than I do. I want someone who enjoys good beer and loves helping others enjoy it too. I want someone who knows how to pour a perfect pint for every beer style. I want a Cicerone.
The Cicerone Certification Program is creating the type of people who help you enjoy great beer. Home brewers and craft beer lovers know beer is more flavorful and complex than ever, and it takes some serious knowledge to store and serve beer right. Cicerones know beer. There are 3 levels in the Cicerone program: Certified Beer Server, Certified Cicerone, and Master Cicerone. Cicerones are truly the sommeliers of beer. The best beer locations have a Certified Cicerone on staff. Relaxed and unpretentious. Cicerones are tested on storing and serving beer, beer styles, flavor and tasting, the brewing process and ingredients, and pairing food with beer. Learn more about your next beer guide at Cicerone.org. Certified Cicerone, because it takes top talent to present a perfect pint.
What's up, BN Army? Jake and Mike here from Brewing TV.
Brewing TV is homebrew culture in video. Asking the big questions, who and why. We leave the how to the tubby know-it-alls.
Check us out at brewingtv.com.
The first webisode drops May 7th.
Like Crosley's pants in a Louisiana jail cell.
This is www.thebrewingnetwork.com.
Sit down next to it, grab yourself a paper towel, and watch those yeast have sex.
You're listening to the Brewing Network.
Just gonna stand there and watch me burn. Well, that's alright, because I like the way it hurts. Just gonna stand there and hear
I like it when JP pretends he doesn't like this stuff.
well, that's alright.
Right now he's saving it into his phone so he can download it later.
He literally is. I'm watching him type.
All right.
Tell you what it really
Welcome back to the program. It's The Session, and it's our tasting show. You have Ray Daniels on the line with us, and Nicole Ernie is in the room. She's going to help us out. Ray, are you with us?
I am here.
Hey, it's great to have you. Thanks for being on.
Very glad to be here.
How's Chicago treating you right now?
Hot.
Is that right? And didn't you, Cicerone just moved into like a real Cicerone office, right?
Some real live office space. Yeah, exactly. After a few years of making it happen on the dining room table, it is real official space. Yep.
Congratulations, Ray. That's a big step.
There we go. Right. Thanks very much.
Awesome.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I like to see it. All right. Before we continue, let me just give you a rundown. You don't have to remember these names, Ray. I just don't want you to think there's a lot of crazy voices in your head. We've got myself in the studio here. Justin, JP is also here.
What's happening, Ray?
Our new producer, Scott, is here.
Yo.
Hey, Scott.
Tasty McDole, who I'm sure you've met before, is here. Of course, Nicole Ernie is here.
Hey there.
Hey, Nicole. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good.
And then we've got Nathan Smith, who's our... I don't even know what he does.
Hey there, Ray.
So not sure why he's here.
Just in the way.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember seeing Nathan recently.
He's part of my entourage.
That's right.
I got peeps.
Well, when you become a certified Cicerone, you need to have an entourage.
You got to have your peeps.
Absolutely.
Now, another friend of ours over here, Randy the Mexican, we call him, an employee over at More Beer, he's now a certified Cicerone, right?
Well, he hasn't got his paperwork.
Oh, he didn't?
Ray's, holding that.
Oh. But he officially...
Randy knows that he passed all the parts. So yes,
I see.
He thinks
Right, exactly. Yeah, some administrative details that need to be finished up, but other than that, right?
Okay. Well, I have to tell you, Ray, that Randy will not allow us to just call him Randy anymore. Now, we have to now refer to him as Randy the Cicerone every time we. That's great. Yeah, he's really loving it.
But how long does that last, Ray? I mean, we're getting kind of tired of it already, So.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm not sure. We haven't done a study to find out how long that
that'd
lasts.
be interesting to find out. Okay.
It should be in the paperwork that comes with the test that you may experience a large head for several months after passing.
Temporary head enlargement. Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, Ray, you've been on the program before and told us a little bit about Cicerone, but I thought a refresher wouldn't hurt. What is the Cicerone program, and why did you start it?
Well, the shorthand is it's a sommelier program for beer. Sommeliers, of course, are wine stewards that keep, manage, and serve wine, and that's basically what the Cicerone program is all about. Is making sure we have a cadre of people out there handling and serving beer who know what they're doing and aren't doing things that ruin the beer and aren't presenting the beer in inappropriate ways. So ultimately, it's about maximizing the quality of beer at retail, so that consumers can relax and enjoy beer, which is what beer should be all about.
Absolutely. Now, I'm kind of surprised, Ray, that you're the first one to do this. I mean, us beer lovers have been bitching for years about going into even good bars and good brew pubs and having servers that didn't know the first thing about what they were pouring us.
Right. Yeah. No, that's absolutely true. I guess I just had too much time on my hands.
Right. You weren't doing enough for the Brewers Association at the time, I'm sure.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, I actually had sort of downshifted my BA responsibilities and to try and travel a little bit less. And that's when I really started working on Cicerone. Was after I had left the craft beer marketing director position. But certainly, having been in that position, I saw the need for this, industry-wide, not just based upon my own personal experience. And that's really what sort of gave me the confidence to say, yeah, I think this is worth, investing time and effort in, and see if we can really put a program together.
Okay. And how did you compile the program? I mean, where did all of these, the necessary things that a beer server needs to know come from?
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of it came from my knowledge and background and experience in the industry. But from the very beginning, this has been an open content and something that I've gone out and solicited input from people in the industry about whether the right stuff is in here, whether there's stuff that's missing, whether we are maybe covering things that shouldn't be covered, all of those things. And because I am fortunate enough to know an awful lot of people in the industry as a result of the many things I've done,
sure.
I was able to get a lot of good input and feedback right away on that. And, that really is encapsulated in our master syllabus that's on the website. And that master syllabus is there free for anybody to look at. You don't even have to give us your email address. You don't even have to become a member of the website to look at the master syllabus.
Wow.
And that's the sort of the what defines the scope of Cicerone knowledge.
Okay.
And again, that's one of those things that somebody looks at that and says, "Hey, why isn't this in here?" Man, shoot me an email. I definitely want to hear that on an ongoing basis.
Okay.
So we continue to try and improve and upgrade.
So Cicerone.org is the website, folks at home, if you want to check it out. And there's a lot of information there, including when to find out where the tests are going to be, different study guides, and up-to-date information about Cicerone. I'm looking at right now in the latest news that you now have more than 100 certified Cicerones.
Yep, that's correct. I think we're up to 135, I believe. I just did a tally. I was tallying them all up for another reason, but I believe the number is 135 at the moment.
Beautiful. Now, and who is taking the exam from you now? Who do you find that your largest group is?
There's really people from all segments of the industry. We talk about the three-tier system in the United States. We've got brewers, distributors, and retailers. And we're definitely seeing people from all three of those areas involved in the program. Brewers, like Stone Brewing, has been one of our big supporters. Very, very proud to have Stone President and CEO Greg Cook as one of our early certified Cicerones.
Great.
And a lot of his guys, Dr. Bill, that runs the beer program in the tasting room at the World Bistro at Stone.
Yeah.
There's another example, and several of his sales guys as well. And so when breweries get into the act, because they feel like it's important, both to sort of validate their own knowledge and also to serve as an example to people in the distribution into the business. And that's where we're seeing a lot of it right now. A lot of the distributors who are really focusing on craft beer right now feel like it helps them to go through this process to increase their knowledge of beer and the serving procedures and all that stuff, and get to the point where they are really more knowledgeable about beer, and so they can go in and sell more effectively.
Right.
So that's a lot of it, and then obviously retailers as well. And the first level certified beer server, a lot of retail organizations are coming in and saying, all right, we want everybody who touches beer between the bar and the customer to be involved in this,
right?
And to get certified. And sorry, I'm getting distracted here.
No worries.
And then some of those folks are going on to become certified Cicerones as well, and particularly the beer manager, the beer buyer. Managers who have got a bunch of certified beer servers working for them, want to have that credibility as well.
Sure. I worked in a lot of bars in my life when I used to hate my jobs, and met a lot of beer salesmen, and I'm glad to hear that that a lot of those folks are taking this test, because I can't tell you how many times I've been offered, the next big thing in craft beer, and it was like Blue Moon. From the cellar, and just really but they come from a sales background, not a beer background, so it's great to have some education there finally.
Yep. No, I was talking to a buyer in Raleigh at the Raleigh Times. The folks out there hosted an exam for us not long ago, and she was saying, this one distributor suddenly has got religion, and the sales reps coming in and saying, what I have for you today is an IPA. Now, let me explain to you what an IPA is.
Right. I love it. Now, tell me a little bit about what an exam day looks like, because I've heard it's pretty long and intense, this exam.
Well, we try not to make it intense. It has a certain length to it of necessity.
Okay.
The certified Cicerone exam is about 4 hours beginning to end. There's a written exam that typically runs about 2.5 hours. We will let it go as long as 3 hours if there are people who feel like they need that much time. Then we do the tasting exam, and the tasting portion is 12 beer samples and 3 different kinds of questions that we ask. So there's several groups of questions there. And then there's an actual demonstration portion where we give them some aspect of beer service and ask them to talk through the important issues and salient points of that issue.
Okay. Now, in the tasting portion where they have the 12 samples in front of them, is this similar to a BJCP tasting where they really have to pick up a lot of the chemical compounds of beers and off flavors, or is it something else?
There are some complementary skills, but we really break it down and go after it in a different way. BJCP, you're trying to evaluate a beer. You're trying to judge a beer overall and arrive at a score.
Yeah.
In our case, the three different questions we ask on the tasting exam, the first type of question is off flavors. So we give them 4 samples of beer, and 3 of those samples are spiked with an off flavor. 1 of them isn't. We don't tell them which of the 4 is not spiked. It's up to them to figure that out. And then it's up to them to identify the off flavor in each of the 3 spiked samples.
Okay.
So that's pretty straightforward, off flavor identification. We want to know, do they recognize these off flavors or not?
Okay.
Second kind of question is style discrimination. And we'll give them a beer. We'll give them a nice, pale, fizzy beer with a white head and say, is this a good example of Munich Helles?
Okay.
And they got to taste it and decide. Is this a Munich Helles? Is it a German Pilsner? Is it a Bohemian Pilsner? What is it?
Right.
And say yes or no. It's a Munich Helles or not. And then the last set of questions are a little more involved. They get 4 beers, and for each one of those 4 beers, we tell them the brand and the style. And we basically say, we might say, for instance, this is Goose Island Honkers Ale. It's an English pale ale or an English bitter. And the customer ordered it, and they tasted the beer, and they don't think the beer tastes right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're the manager on duty. You're the Cicerone on duty. It's up to you now. You got to taste the beer and decide, does this beer taste the way it's supposed to?
Right.
And the customer's, all wet, or is there a problem with the beer?
Okay.
And if there is a problem with the beer, what's the likely cause? Because you need to solve that problem.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty intense to me.
That's pretty intense,
That's
man.
cool.
Especially put in that scenario.
Yeah.
Because
but it's a realistic.
Totally realistic. I mean, how many times has it happened to maybe everybody in this room?
Right.
When you go, this is not right, and I don't know, I've never had this beer before.
Sure.
I don't know. Is it right? You tell me.
Yeah. Oh. Now, Nicole being the only one in the room who's taken this exam, how difficult did you find it to go through this tasting and be able to define these things?
I found the tasting to be really difficult, actually, because after sitting there doing the written exam, you have all these analytical ideas in your head, and like I'm going to talk about later, I kept doubting my first impressions, and when you go through a flight of 12 beers, switching gears, it was intense. I definitely got a few wrong in the tasting.
Okay.
That I'm kind of embarrassed about looking back, but I understand why I made those mistakes.
Right.
You sort of learn to trust your first impressions.
The pressure's on, and you get out some ideas in your head, and
sure.
How about
Nick? I was going to say Nicole's very modest, by the way. My recollection is that she's got great chops, and she did very well on the tasting exam.
Okay, great. Well, and the other thing about, and JP, you can maybe vouch for this too, having taken the BJCP. To me, when you're really put to the test with 4 or 12 different beers in front of you, and you've got to pick on each one of them, it becomes more difficult. The pressure of the situation becomes more difficult. You maybe think too hard, or rather than just, if you give me one beer, I could probably taste it pretty well and pick apart some things for you. But the test situation is a little tougher, I think.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to ask Nicole, since she's done both. But I very much feel for you when you're talking about you doubting your first responses, especially in a test format with a beer, because there is a wrong answer. It's a right and a wrong, and then there's also that middle ground, that gray area where you're like, I kind of don't know.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine it with 12 beers. Do with 4 for the BGCP, I almost freaked out.
Right.
But 12 would that's intense, man. That's a judging round.
In the BJCP exam, you're expected to thoroughly describe the beer, so that has a whole nother aspect to it. But for my approach, that kind of made me feel more comfortable, because I was like, well, if I get something wrong, it's going to be lost and all this other stuff. That there's going to be some other right stuff.
Right.
On the Cicerone exam, there wasn't so much room to write about it. It was like
cheater.
You get the you either got it or you don't, with the spiked flavor and some things like that.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting how they simplify it, but it also increased the degree
Right or
of
wrong.
perceived difficulty for sure.
Wow.
Right. And now I don't mean to pick on it being difficult either. Just so you know, Ray, I actually think it should be rather difficult.
Oh, me
I don't
too.
think everyone should be able to be a Cicerone, which kind of brings me to my next question for you is, what does the passing rate look like when people are taking this test?
Oh, man, I haven't looked at it lately. The first year, 2008, the passing rate was like 30%.
Okay.
Because pretty much everybody, who thought they knew some shit about beer, not everybody, but, a bunch of people who thought,
Right.
Am I allowed to say that on radio?
Oh, yeah, you can. We love it. Yeah.
Not a radio, but here you can.
Yeah, so jumped in and took it. What's this thing? Yeah, I could do that. No problem.
I don't need to study.
Yeah. Exactly.
I know beer.
And some people found out. Okay, well, all right. There's some stuff in here, and that's one thing. But I also didn't hear anybody come back and say, dude, that's not a legitimate test of beer skill. They were like, "Oh man, those are good questions," and I didn't pass.
Right.
And I was like, "All right, I got to go study some more. I'm going to come back and pass this thing."
Sure.
So, there are some things that have made it a little bit easier since then. And these days, I think the pass rate's around 70 to 80%. Actually,
Not when I'm grading.
Nicole's harsh. The Velvet Hammer over there.
But some of it is, we've got there is an old exam on the website now, that the exam from 2008. Now, mind you, all the questions have changed, but at least now people can get a sense of what they're up against.
Yeah.
And they know, I have to know it in that much detail. Oh, I have to be able to figure out that difference from that. Oh, okay, I better study more before I go into this thing. So people are coming in better prepared because they have a better idea, what they're up against, and that helps a lot.
Okay.
And we do some more classwork these days. The first year, boy, the draft stuff was killing people.
Oh.
There's some knowledge about draft, and there wasn't a source for it then. And unless you had been to one of the draft schools put on by Micromatic or Perlick, somebody like that, there's no way to get that knowledge and know that you know it.
That's true.
Now that's all changed. The Brewers Association has their draft beer quality manual, and you can go to their website, which I think is it Draft Quality or draftbeerquality.org?
I think it's Draft Beer Quality.
Draftbeerquality.org.
Yeah.
And, you can learn that stuff. You can sit down and read through it and learn that stuff. So, again, some things have happened that make it easy, and the fact that exists now indicates that many people in the industry are on the same wavelength, that we're all working towards trying to improve retail beer service and retail beer quality. And Cicerone and draftbeerquality.org go hand in hand in that regard.
It's draftquality.org. I had it wrong, too. Draftquality.org, put on by the BA. So, yeah, that's
your
true.
Navy.
And when I was a bartender, too, at several places, it's just sink or swim figuring out how the draft system works. And I mean right down to diagnosing why it's pouring all foam.
Yeah.
And,
it's hard work because it's not only your system, but it's how the kegs come in, how they're stored.
Right.
All that kind of stuff. But if you don't have a good system just at the base, it's never going to be right. And I feel bad for some of these bars you go into.
Yeah.
And they're just always pouring foam.
And losing a lot of beer.
Yeah, use a lot of beer.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, Nicole, you studied pretty long for this exam, though, didn't you? I remember you were holding study sessions and...
Well, that was a little different. So people always ask me how long it took me to study for the Cicerone exam, and I say you really can't study for it. You can just remind yourself of what you already have, the knowledge you've already amassed. So I've been really heavy into craft beer since I turned 21.
Yeah,
and
never tried it before.
Drunk.
So for the past 5 years, and especially the last 3 years, especially Nate and I have really pushed each other, and have gotten to know quite a bit. And studying for the Cicerone exam was kind of like some of the same things I did for the BJCP exam, which is just drilling some of the some of the quantitative facts, because I'm not very good at memorizing that kind of thing. So just memorizing that and just kind of putting myself in that world and just, reading about beer every day. So,
that makes sense to just remind yourself that you know this stuff and have it at the forefront.
And refresh and,
a lot of vocabulary.
Talk about it.
Yeah. Now, Ray, just because I'm kind of a jerk like this, I just want you to know, you're Sarah there, who was supposed to who took the test, I think, at NHC. She wasn't doing any late night studying at that homebrewers conference.
Well, she was, but not for the Cicerone test.
Yeah, I don't know what she told you, but there was a lot of hanging out going on. Not, I don't know what she was thinking. We kept telling her,
it's 4 already.
We kept saying, "Hey, don't hang out with us. You should really go back to studying."
Right.
But she wouldn't listen.
No.
Nicole was giving Randy a pretty hard time about that, too, the night before he was supposed to take the exam.
He took it out there
He took it out there as well.
Oh, okay.
He was cruising around with bottles of beer in his hand at like 2 in the morning the night before, and Nicole was scolding him. Go to bed, young man.
He was studying.
It was great.
At one point, he passed by me with a glass of some 10% beer. I grabbed it out of his hand. I said, "You can have one more sip, and then you're going to bed."
Wow.
I went and dumped it out.
Okay, Mom.
Yeah. He's thanking me now.
Yeah.
Well, I would comment on either one of those, but we don't acknowledge or discuss who is taking the exam. We only talk about who has passed the exam.
I see.
Yes.
I didn't get that memo, Ray.
Yeah. Well, it's a matter of privacy and professional responsibility here. It's like people ought to be able to come in and take the test, and if they don't want to tell the world that they took it and didn't pass, then we're not going to tell them. So
then they have that right. I see. Yeah, that whole kind of privacy and professionalism is completely lacking at the Brewing Network. Scott came in here with his shirt tucked in once, and we threw him out. So
it wasn't cool. They locked the door.
Yeah. All right. Well, I promised Ray I'd let him get out of here by 6, and we're going to let Nicole talk to us about tasting, unless there's anything else you want to add about Cicerone or how to enjoy and taste beer, Ray.
I know you're in good hands with Nicole, so I will let her handle that ball.
Perfect. Go to Cicerone.org. You can find out all the information that you need about Ray and his program, find out where to take the tests, and also there's study guides right on there. Like Ray said, you can get the whole syllabus of the program there, so you can check it all out. One question from the listeners came through for you, Ray, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. One of our listeners in the chat room wanted me to ask you about your Twitter feed. I guess he likes the beer information that you give out every now and then.
Oh, yeah.
And was wondering where you got the idea about that.
It's almost every day.
It's Cicerone_org is my Twitter handle, and I go through phases where I actually do a series that I hashtag as Beer Ed, BEERED. Yes, that's short for beer education, not beard, as in I've already had too much beer today.
Right.
So I do those, and when I'm in the groove, I get them set up about a week in advance, and have 3 a day at 10, 2, and 6, I think, almost like Dr. Pepper.
Wow.
And so but that stuff, I teach at Siebel Institute, both the science course and the diploma course. And I'm a graduate of the Siebel Institute, so all that brewing knowledge is there, and most of it I could just sit down and write those things. The tricky part is editing them into 144 characters, and every now and then I have to go back and make sure it's like, well, I do have that right? It really is like 5% moisture and not 6% moisture.
Right.
But it's fun. It's fun stuff to do, and people do like those things, and I don't know. I have this back of my mind thing that if somebody would just follow me on Twitter for a year, they could almost learn enough to become a certified Cicerone.
Right. There you go, listeners.
Almost.
Very cool. Very close to it. And I guess my last question about that is, what does it take to pass? What's a passing score look like?
For certified Cicerone, passing is 80% overall, and you also have to get at least 70% on the tasting exam.
Okay.
We don't want somebody just coming in like all book knowledge and totally bombs on the tasting part. We want to know that you've got some chops.
Right.
And that's probably the most common thing we see right now in people that don't pass is they've got the book knowledge, but they don't quite have the tasting down.
Okay.
And so they come back and do the tasting exam again at some future date.
Which is kind of weird because that's the most fun part to study.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. No, well, for sure. But I think Nicole put it really well. I mean, there's some cut and dried answers there, and if you're not prepared on that stuff, it shows.
Right.
But it's also the one part that you're very limited into how long you can actually study. Right. You can read books for 4 hours. You're not tasting beer for 4 hours.
Right.
There's no way.
Well, you are. You stop tasting after 45 minutes.
Exactly. Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point.
Well, as in all things, when it comes to academic endeavors, slow and steady is very important.
Okay.
That's how
steady.
I walk.
That steady beer tasting is very important to success.
I believe in this. It took me 10 years to graduate college, Ray, so I'm with you on that.
And by college, he means high school.
Right. All right, Ray Daniels, thanks very much for being on the program.
Thanks, Ray.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Have a good evening.
All right, we'll see you in Denver at the JBF, huh?
You will indeed.
All right, Ray, take care.
All right, cheers. Bye.
There you go, Ray Daniels. You can go to Cicerone.org and check it out. Everything you need to know about becoming a certified Cicerone like Randy the Mexican. Randy the Cicerone.
That's why he wants you to call him Randy the Cicerone. He's trying to get rid of that other name you applied to him.
Who wouldn't?
It's not going to happen. Jameel tried to get me to call him Randy the More Beer employee, and that ain't going to happen either. He'll always be Randy the Mexican to me.
What about Randy the Mexerone?
Mexerone. It
It's
sounds like a new meal at Taco Bell.
Right below the Bell Beefer on the value menu.
like a Bell Beefer and a Mexerone with sour cream, please. Thank you. All right, a quick break. When we come back, Nicole Ernie, certified Cicerone extraordinaire, will teach us about tasting beer. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
Brewers Publications is proud to announce their newest release, Yeast, the Practical Guide to Beer Fermentation by Chris White and Jamil Zainasheff. The Practical Guide to Beer Fermentation is a resource for brewers of all experience levels. Chris and Jamil thoroughly cover yeast selection, storage, handling yeast, and how to culture yeast. Learn how to set up your own yeast lab, the basics of fermentation science and how it affects your beer, plus step-by-step procedures, equipment lists, and a comprehensive troubleshooting guide. Professionals and homebrewers trust Dr. Chris White, who founded White Labs Yeast more than 15 years ago. And Jamil Zainasheff is one of the most respected and most awarded homebrewers in history and co-author of Brewing Classic Styles with John Palmer. Visit Brewers Publications on Facebook for more information. Order your copy at shop.beertown.org or from the Brewing Network. Yeast, the Practical Guide to Beer Fermentation by two of the most trusted names in commercial and home brewing. Proudly available soon from Brewers Publications.
Hi, this is Push from the Brewing Network, and I want to tell you about the Brewmaster's Warehouse and how you can get 10% off your next order. I'm a pretty techie guy, but I've never seen an online store like this. It's awesome. Go to brewmasterswarehouse.com and click on Brew Builder. You can whip up a custom recipe so easily even Sven could do it. Seriously, it's slick. You can share your recipe with your own logo and notes to the Brewmasters database if you want. And the best part, it keeps a running tally of the beer you're building while you're doing it. Then, bam, click Buy Recipe, and your cart is filled and ready to go with helpful suggestions in case you forgot something. This thing is amazing. Brewmasters Warehouse is run the way a home brewer would do it, with great service, fast turnaround, and $6.99 flat rate shipping. Brewmaster's Warehouse and the Brew Builder blew me away. Check it out today at brewmasterswarehouse.com. I'm serious. And don't forget to put BNARMY in the discount code box for 10% off your order. Check out brewmasterswarehouse.com. Cheers.
BN Army members, are you looking for a discount on hops? Keep listening. Nico's Homebrew Supply at nicobrew.com has hops by the ounce and by the pound. Choose from varieties like Amarillo, Centennial, East Kent Goldings, Hallertauer, Simcoe, Summit, Tomahawk, Warrior, Willamette, and more. And adding new varieties all the time, many for less than $20 a pound. Whether a couple ounces at a time or an 11-pound bag, all hops are shipped vacuum sealed and frozen straight to you. Nico's Homebrew Supply offers store-wide $5 flat rate shipping. shipping and won't waste your money on unnecessary overhead or advertising. They're going bare bones and passing the savings on to you. The staff at Nico's Homebrew Supply loves to brew and is committed to keeping homebrewing affordable and accessible to anyone who wants to join in this great hobby. And for a limited time, use coupon code BNARMY at checkout for a Brewing Network discount. Visit nicobrew.com. That's NIKO brew.com for your hops and more. nicobrew.com, your bare bones buddy in the brewing business.
And now, Northern Brewer brings you another installment of The Time Brewers.
When last we left our heroes, they found themselves in 19th century Burton-upon-Trent.
Ah, merry England! Something is amiss, my friends. Be on guard.
These casks of white Zinfandel will stand the Queen's men in good stead in far Bangalore.
Oh, hell no! Blush wine out of Britain be worse than microwaving a kitten. Maharaja Dodgers drinking pink be vomiting predominant on the subcontinent.
Oh, dear, you can't drink blush with Vindaloo.
Oi, what should I do? Ship hogsheads of this high carbonate water?
No, sir. Please, wait. Just a moment.
Well, bless me. A parcel from the future. From one Northern Brewer.
Use this malice auteur, my good man.
EKG at a high rate per barrel make ladies wet like Colin Farrell. Now quit Burton ruining the Burton Union and get Burton brewing.
Forgettest thou not the bog myrtle?
Northern Brewer is your one-stop homebrew supplier throughout the entire fermento chronosphere. The widest selection of quality malt, hops, yeast, $7.99 flat rate shipping, and keep that nasty-ass bog myrtle inside your sackcloth, Brother Abelard.
My stars, but this India Pale Ale is better than wine. Thanks, Time Brewers. Thanks, Northern Brewer.
Our work here is done, my friends. Now, to wherever we are next needed.
Tune in next time for the continuing adventures of The Time Brewers.
Hilo, what's it feel like?
Take awesome and multiply it by 2.
Yeah! Spraying live beer radio all over your face.
Can't get any better than this, baby.
It's the Brewing Network.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
I like Ray. I'm glad he came on the show. He's too nice, though. Such a nice guy. We gotta hang out with Ray more to get him to be a bit more of a dick to people, you know?
Yeah, a bit more edgy.
As far as you know, he's nice.
He's nice. He's a good guy. So go to Cicerone.org, like I told you. We're now here with Nicole, new haircut Ernie, in the studio. She's got a sexy new bob going on. And is that what it's called?
I guess so.
We are a woman.
Fully identified, haircut and everything.
I got a sexy new bob. I like how it's layered a little bit on the under... the other... Never mind. Is that what it's called? It's a bob, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's a bob, and that's what makes you gay.
You know what? It gets worse. I forgot about another detail. So I don't know if this store is nationwide, but you know the Joanne Fabric store? I know where I didn't realize this, but I went shopping there with my girlfriend for stuff for the bus. We're putting, new upholstery and Burning Man stuff. And every time someone asked where something was in the store, I knew exactly where it was. I was like, oh, yeah, needle and thread, that's aisle 7 on the left side. And I knew where everything at Joanne Fabrics was. So it is getting bad.
Yes.
I'm telling
You're picking it up really quick.
Going to need an intervention soon.
You know what I'm surprised about at that
Or
store
sex
is
change.
A gay intervention.
You can get bolts of denim.
What is a bolt of denim?
Really?
See, I'm not that far gone yet.
All 9.
Is it a bolt or is it a block? I thought it was a block of fabric.
It's a bolt.
Bolt.
What is it?
I didn't know that.
It's like a rectangular thing. It's a pre-measured amount of fabric. So when you go to the fabric and you're pulling off the little thing, it's a bolt.
I see.
Yeah.
All right.
So you can make your own jorts.
Yeah.
Big homo.
Ooh. I was wearing my jorts earlier today, as a matter of fact. They're coming back, jorts.
No, they're not.
GTL and jorts, baby.
What are jorts?
I don't know what
Fist
a jort
pump.
is.
Jean shorts.
Where you cut off your old jeans and turn them into shorts?
So you can see the
I'm
pockets?
single-handedly bringing them back. And
you're not.
You'll see. Watch.
Not with those legs.
Yeah. All right, so what we're here to do today is learn a little bit about how to enjoy and taste our beer from Certified Cicerone Nicole Ernie. So why don't you tell us a little bit about tasting beer, Nicole?
Yeah, I just wanted to come on the show and do a little talk about not just judging beer, not just identifying compounds or even calibrating your palate, just more about really enjoying your beer by thinking about what you're tasting, and not necessarily in an analytical way, but in a way that helps you enjoy it better.
And you've done this even before you were a Cicerone. I remember in tasting beer with you, and you were always kind of analytical about it, right?
Yeah, always kind of analytical, but also just kind of trying to find name not necessarily GMS, but name corn, name straw, something that some image that you get in your brain when you're tasting something. Not just I'm not saying that it's not worthwhile to be able to name compounds. That's a really important part of what I do as a beer judge. Also, just a great skill to have when you're trying to taste beer with other people. But to enjoy it with yourself, it's nice to, when you're enjoying a beer with yourself.
Yeah.
Those special moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had two today.
Right by the
two
fireplace.
Of those moments.
Yeah, turn the fireplace on and
in the shower.
Yeah, one in the shower and one in the car.
In the trunk.
It was a busy day. I was traveling a lot.
Yeah, the fabric store.
I was leaving the fabric store. That place really gets me going.
Images of Michael Jackson in your head.
By the way,
you get some nice imagery in your head, and you just roll with that.
Okay, that's happened. B-Dog in the chat room, by the way, Nicole says, please pass his congratulations on to you for making National BJCP Judge.
Thanks.
You're a national judge now.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, makes JP your bitch.
Sweet.
Well, that and a few other things.
I don't like it very much. She finds flaws in all my beers all the time now. My Belgian ales, she hates them. It's great.
Right.
This is why you didn't place in nationals with this beer.
Can you imagine?
This thing goes la 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 la.
That could get old.
Every time you give your girlfriend a beer, she tells you why you didn't win Ninkasi.
Yeah,
I've been trying to make a decent Belgian dark strong ale for years. No way. Every time Nicole's like, I'm sorry, this
It just
sucks.
doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
Well, and you're not a BJCP judge, right, Nate?
I am, actually,
you are?
yeah.
Is she
Also
higher than
national.
you now? Oh.
No, we're both national, but I
Okay.
think she's got better chops than me when it comes to sitting down at the table and judging a beer.
Who was first?
No way.
Okay.
Who was first?
I was first by a couple months.
Yeah!
But,
In face, Cole!
Thanks.
Right.
But I think if you'd have had those points from the conference last year that only showed up recently, you may have made it there first, Nicole. So we'll give you the points.
Yeah, I just got my points from attending the Oakland conference this year.
All right. Don't
Yeah.
get JP started,
I had
please.
some friends,
yeah, that's a different show.
I had some friends in high places, I think, that looked into that. I think I complained to the right person at
Right.
the conference, and I think it was Gordon Strong, actually.
What's the next thing up from National? What will be your next endeavor?
Master would be next, but I don't know if I'm going for that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's just through points now. It's how many times you judge, right?
No.
Oh.
Master, you have to have a 90 on the exam, which I'm shy of.
So you have to retake the exam.
I would have to retake the exam.
correct.
So just because JP, I'm sure, is curious, what was your score on the exam?
Oh man, you
Your
can look
first
it. You
time?
can look it up. I don't remember.
Ish.
I don't remember numbers.
80-ish?
Well, the
80-ish,
first
I
time
believe,
I took
Nicole.
it was in the 70s, and the second time I took it was in the 80s.
Okay.
So
Right.
I
Well, I was in
forget
the 60s.
I forget that
The second
exact
time?
First
number.
time.
Okay.
What happens if you fail? Like, is it like the DMV? You have to wait 2 weeks before you can try again, or how does that work?
They set you on fire. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Do you have to? You just wait till the next exam, right?
Yeah,
That's
just
all
wait
it
till
is.
the next time.
Because you can't take it on your own. There has to be a set. They set up the exams.
Correct.
So
Yeah, you have to wait until you get registered again.
Oh.
Yeah, they can only give so many exams a year.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. Carry on, Nicole.
Okay, where were we? Yeah, so
Kind of the differences between tasting and judging. You're talking about.
So sometimes it's not very helpful or fun to have all this all this specialized knowledge of technically tasting beer and analyzing it and looking for off flavors and things like that. I know you guys have probably all had this experience where you go out to drink a beer and then somebody at the table is like, DMS or this has diacetyl, and it ruins the beer for everyone. And that's fine because it's an important thing to sit around and calibrate your palate to other people. That's a really important tool.
But not every time,
sometimes
right?
you just want to enjoy your beer because maybe we're enjoying one of Justin's beers. Well,
let's pick another example.
That's a real big maybe.
Until Tasty came up and started pointing out the myriad of flaws.
Oh my god!
that it contains.
This is the 13,
right?
So, sometimes you just don't want to think about it that hard.
That's true.
But that doesn't mean you shouldn't think about it, which is my point here.
Yeah.
So, what is the main objective of tasting? Well, to talk about that, we need to think about why we taste the way we do.
Hang on. Gordon Strong would like you to know that you got an 85 on the written and an 87 on the tasting.
Okay.
Which is pretty goddamn good, isn't it? You're just shy of having a master's score.
Of that 90.
I think you'll do fine the next time around.
I don't know.
Got to wait a while.
I don't know if my hand can take it anymore.
Yeah, mine either.
Yeah.
What, complaining to Gordon?
Carry on.
So what is the main objective of tasting? Well, we have to look at why we taste the way we do. We evolved to seek out foods that were nutritionally dense and to shy away from foods that had certain microbiological activity going on, aka spoiling. So our palates are such that we can taste sugar. We have a really high flavor threshold for. We're talking about 2,500 parts per million, versus there are some nasties that we can taste in the parts per quintillion.
Okay.
So ethane is that example. And for those of you that don't know what a quintillion is, just wait another 20 years and our national debt will probably be there.
A little political humor. You see that?
I did. I like it.
Just wedged it right in there. I thought it was when...
Was that too contrived?
Keep me awake with that.
It was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was when a Mexican girl turned 15.
That's the wrong one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
I can see where you'd make that mistake.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So when we think about why we taste like those things... We can see that we have an incredible palate for the flavors of fermentation. We can taste the flavors that are derived from fermentation, and we're very sensitive to them.
Okay.
And the parts per billion, parts per trillion, parts per quintillion. So it's really interesting for us to think about, and I think that's what attracts a lot of people towards drinking beer or eating fermented bread or kombucha, all these different fermented products that we use.
I had a kombucha once. Have you guys had that?
No.
It's like vinegar water, vinegar juice. It's an Asian fermented beverage that it's supposed to be really good for you digestively, right? And are you you vegetarians? You must drink kombucha at every meal or something, right?
I'm not a hippie.
No. Yeah. Right. Or a sissy.
I think I've had that too.
Yeah.
It's become
it have,
quite popular.
Honey and then something else in it?
I think it's worth it. The reason I'm elaborating on it a little bit is I think it's worth a taste because it is another fermented beverage, but that kind of serves a purpose that Nicole's talking about, a more nutritional purpose rather than... I mean, one or two beers is certainly nutritional, but 6 is not.
Right.
Whereas 6 kombuchas, and you're ready to go.
Yeah, you're blasting off like a water rocket.
Yeah, you pretty much are. It's an interesting fermented beverage.
Combine that with smoothies, and
ready to go. I also think, Nicole, I'm glad that you bring up this kind of evolutionary part of tasting things. A lot of times when I think about flavors that I like and don't like, I don't go back that far. I really only think of things like, I didn't like onions when I was a kid, but my palate does like onions now. Like, I think of a very small evolutionary scale of my palate and how it's changed. But to think about how we needed to seek out rotten food or carbohydrates for energy and things like that, we actually developed things on our tongue to know those foods. I think that's pretty,
right.
Like, as you say, interesting to think of it that way.
That's why things like onions don't taste good to kids, because they're very sulfurous items, and that sulfur will indicate to the palate that it's a spoiled food. And
I see.
It takes some training, and it's an acquired taste. You eventually learn to enjoy onions, or when you cook them, that sulfur kind of comes out and they taste sweet.
Yeah.
So,
and your taste buds aren't even developed at a young age. They say a lot of kids don't like vegetables. When you're a kid, I don't like Brussels sprouts, or I don't like broccoli.
Yeah.
You really don't. Like, your palate physically can't handle it.
I see. I wonder when my palate will handle my beer. I wonder when that's going to happen.
I don't know.
When does that evolution take place, Nicole?
You should
Is that
not
in your
hold
notes?
your breath and wait for that to happen.
It's not in your notes? All right, carry on.
So, thinking about these kinds of things when you're tasting anything is really important, because a lot of the foods that we enjoy, especially as adults, that you think about kids not enjoying or whatever, vegetables, sushi, whatever it is, things that are new to us here in the U.S. These are things that we learn to enjoy, and beer is also one of those things that we learn to enjoy. A lot of people notice that the longer you drink beer, all of a sudden, where when you first started drinking beer, you wouldn't have enjoyed a sour beer at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the first time I had La Folie, I was ready to punch Nate. I thought he was playing a practical joke
poisoning
on me.
you or something.
Right.
But now it's a different thing.
this.
It's you kind of go through this spectrum. You train yourself to enjoy the flavors of fermentation, and you get to that point where you can enjoy even things that indicate a completely rotten food, like Brettanomyces flavors, like barnyard notes and stuff like that. We're evolved to not like that,
right?
But by knowing that it's safe, and you're kind of messing with your brain, you're going in there and saying, yeah, this thing is really bitter, which could indicate poison, but I know it's not poison, so I'm going to drink it anyway. It's kind of fun. It gives you kind of a thrill.
Like the first time I had Jägermeister.
Yeah,
I had to convince myself it wasn't poison,
and it kind of was.
And I was lying to myself.
Yeah, it's totally true. So, thinking about this, it kind of helps you understand your interaction with the physical substance that you're dealing with. It's interesting to think about your using your cognition, and you can talk about what you're tasting with other people, and that's great because it gives socially awkward people something to talk about, and it also increases the amount of mental energy used while you're drinking beer, which is sometimes extremely low.
Makes you smarter?
Yeah. It could.
It does.
It could possibly.
And did you hear the socially awkward part, JP?
No.
Yeah. So it hasn't helped you in social situations that you can talk about tasting.
I'd rather not talk about it.
It's too personal.
I don't feel comfortable talking about it.
I went and had a meal with JP and his girlfriend once, and he was berating her about tasting beer. Like, the poor girl was just trying to talk about like what she was tasting in the beer, and JP's like, well, not really. It's not really there.
No, you're wrong.
That's wrong. And she's like, well, what do you mean? But it's what I taste. He's like, no, you don't.
Well, she's kind of an idiot.
Right.
Wow.
And then he called her an idiot.
You can see why this chick is into JP.
Yeah.
Did you call her broad too?
Like, listen, broad.
That's my grill. Go, where my grill's at? She's like, I'm right here. Like, oh, all right.
Thank you. Okay.
So JP, you're wrong.
He's wrong about being wrong?
Yeah.
I think it was
right.
Charlie Bamforth that no, not Charlie. Bamforth. Mr. Bamforth that had a presentation called "Quality is in the Eye of the Brew Holder."
Dr. Bamforth.
Dr. Bamforth. There we go. I thought you were signaling to me. Nope. So I mean, the point of that is that your palate isn't wrong. Tasting is objective. Everyone's going to taste something different, and it is a creative endeavor.
Yeah.
There is such thing as calibrating your palate to other people for the purposes of things like judging beer, analyzing something. But if you're talking about sitting there and enjoying your beer or your meal,
Yeah.
what you're tasting isn't wrong. It's just what you perceive.
So it's like finding the common words, right?
That's
like a common vocabulary.
A common vocabulary is very important when you get to the point where you are judging and analyzing. But if you just want to enjoy your beer and you want to get more out of it, you can still do that without feeling like you're going to be wrong if you're going to talk about it.
And also, I think you can do it with everyday vocabulary too. I think it does help if you end up on the same page at some point. But for me, it's sometimes it's the most fun to taste with people who don't really talk about tasting beer, and to find out, someone I asked somebody what they taste in the beer. They might say something like, "I taste Oreo cookie. It tastes like an Oreo cookie to me," which I might have never thought of that descriptor. But then I take another sip and go, that absolutely tastes like Oreo cookie. And so sometimes I think having an amateur palate, for lack of a better term, can be a lot of fun in tasting, So can all of our dildo-shaped bottle openers that Nicole's now playing with in the studio.
Playing with. You can tune into the webcam for that later.
But yes. But this is what I like about that there's no wrong answer to this part of the tasting, because I think that... So friends of ours... everyone here has friends that really aren't beer guys, right, or aren't beer people, and when I taste with them, they're intimidated to talk about beer with me a lot of times, thinking that they're going to say something stupid or something that I already know. But to me, it's some of the most fun times I have tasting beer, because you get these kind of random comments about beer flavors.
Yeah, like if I'm sitting down tasting beer with somebody who I know isn't a judge or a beer fanatic.
Yeah,
we're tasting something, and to me, diacetyl comes out right away in the beer as we pour it, and I'm smelling it. I'm not going to tell the guy, "Hey, this is diacetyl."
Right.
Yeah.
Let's sit and taste it for a minute. And does he pick out butterscotch?
Yeah, you're going to chill out for a while. Yeah.
Right. Or if it never comes up, I might suggest it at some point. Say, "Are you getting a little butterscotch like flavor or aroma or something like that?" And see if they go with that or roll with that a bit. And if they disagree, then I start questioning myself. Maybe I was off to begin with too, which is kind of cool.
Well, this takes me back to a great NHC presentation that I went to this past year by Ken Schramm. Ken Schramm's kind of a mead guy. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. He wrote The Complete Mead Maker.
Yep.
He did an amazing presentation about the genetics and the physiology of tasting. And if anyone's really interested in learning about this a lot more, his presentation is up on the NHC website.
Okay.
But he talked about gustatorial versus analytical tasting. And gustatorial tasting, gust like the Latin, that's a Latin for, not the Latin word, but it's part of the for tasting basically.
Okay.
That's, you actually process that in a different part of your brain than you would analytical tasting. So the amygdala, which is part of the reptilian part of your brain, it's kind of like the automatic part of your brain, is what's responsible for sipping your beer and going, "Oh, that tastes good,"
Okay.
Whereas the analytical part of your brain, you take some training to get your tongue and your senses working with that part of your brain. It's processed by the part of the orbitofrontal cortex.
All right.
Anyway, so it's part of the brain that's associated with higher processing and really processing language and things like that, because it's not just your taste buds going right to that part of your brain that goes, yes, good, more. It's
boy like beer.
Right.
Jane like beer. Boy like beer.
Yeah, it's a whole new level where you're taking in those tastes and flavors, and then you're trying to interpret what it means and where it's going.
And so that's the part we're training in when we think about things like the Cicerone program or BJCP or whatnot.
Exactly.
That, right?
And calibrating your palate to other people and things like that. So what you were talking about a second ago, Justin, was talking to people that don't spend a lot of time thinking about tasting beer, that come up with that obvious taste. And the most interesting thing that I got out of that part of his discussion was that beginners and advanced tasters tend to be much more accurate than intermediate tasters, because advanced tasters have really made strong neural connections to that part of their brain that processes flavor and aroma analytically, whereas the beginner tasters are ready to quickly accept that first impression from that, from the more raw processing of their brain,
and not guess it so much,
and not second guess it the way an intermediate taster who's struggling to make those strong neural connections to the analytical side of their brain.
Yeah.
So
sometimes you try too hard and you fail even worse.
Yeah, I definitely feel like sometimes I get stuck in that middle section. And then,
so do I. Actually, I was thinking that in the beginning of this show, I felt like I was a pretty good taster. I was kind of, I was proud of myself sometimes when I taste a lot of things. And lately, I don't taste shit. People give me a beer, and I'm like, yeah, I don't care. I don't taste anything.
Right.
I'm on that sort of middle plateau, I feel like, where I'm not discovering new things like I was back then, and I'm also not. I don't have those strong connections like you're saying too. I'm definitely in that middle ground.
Yeah, and especially when you're in that middle ground, you can feel fed up. You've actually made a lot of progress, I'm sure, but it's just that when you start to doubt yourself, you start to get some things wrong. You can get frustrated and just be like, whatever.
That's why Scott hasn't come out yet.
He's still frustrated.
Still kind of like, I'm still feeling for things I just don't know.
Plus his Jewish mother is not going to have it.
Yeah, she'll have a heart attack.
Yeah.
So what can we do to
get Scott out of the closet?
To push ourselves to really get into those push ourselves to that next level of tasting.
Well, I've got a line of Coke over here if you want.
Let's drink some beer, dude. Seriously good beer.
It will be really.
I got a glass. I got an opener.
Oh, I got an opener.
You guys can borrow that if you want to. You just bring it back in the next show.
I'm just going to pocket that thing.
Yeah.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. You started waving the wieners around the room, and
it takes
what the hell.
We're learning.
So we can use other things to get us more excited about tasting again, like cock-shaped bottle openers.
Yeah.
Speaking of excited,
and then the emotional connections to our to foods that we've had in the past and to the beer that we're drinking now. I just wanted to talk a little bit also about training your palate before we move on to that.
How about this? Let me take a break.
Okay, let's take a break.
I got to pay some sponsors, and we'll come back to that. And also, we've got a beer in front of us that we can taste as well when we come back and get people alongside us. I think maybe the folks at home could pour themselves almost anything and talk to themselves about what they're tasting. I think it doesn't really, you don't have to be tasting the same thing right now to talk about how we're thinking about our palates and thinking about flavors coming through. So,
absolutely.
All right, hang in there. It's The Session. We've got Nicole doing a fascinating presentation about how we taste here on The Session, and we'll be right back with more of that. It's The Session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. On the Brewing Network.
Organic ingredients. Fresh, clean, good for you, good for the planet. Seven Bridges has the best selection of organic ingredients, including over 27 varieties of organic hops at breworganic.com. Join their mailing list for special deals and regular updates. They've been brewing organic and serving organic brewers for 13 years. They can help you brew great organic beer. And Seven Bridges is the proud host of the 4th Annual National Organic Brewing Challenge, the only BJCP-sanctioned nationwide brewing competition just for organic beers. Take the challenge this fall for a chance to win great prizes, including stainless steel brew kettles and organic brewing ingredients. This year, the challenge will be judged in 2 locations: on the East Coast at Capital City Brewing in Arlington, Virginia, and on the West Coast at Gordon Biersch in San Jose, California. For complete details, visit breworganic.com/competition. Seven Bridges is cooperatively owned in awesome Santa Cruz, California. Everyone there is dedicated to great beer and people-friendly business practices. They offer environmentally friendly, fair trade, and fair wage brewing products whenever possible. Seven Bridges, breworganic.com.
Downtown Joe's, located in the historic Oberon building in beautiful downtown Napa, California, offers an award-winning brew pub experience from 8:30 a.m. to 1 a.m. every day. For 15 years at the corner of 2nd and Main, Downtown Joe's has been voted Best Night Spot 7 times and Best Brew Pub for the last 4 years in a row. Brewmaster Colin Kaminsky's handcrafted ales, like his Tailwagon Amber Ale and Double Secret Probation IPA, are the perfect accent to riverside dining, live music, and a relaxing outdoor patio. Don't miss the Beer of the Month, special rotating taps, and the BN Army Member Special. Wear your BN gear, get 10% off your beer. Visit downtownjoes.com to make reservations, peruse their extensive calendar of events, or just read more about their fantastic beers. Come enjoy the fine beer, food, and music. Downtown Joe's, the award-winning brew pub where you'll feel at home.
Whether I'm making me dry stout or rebuilding me kegs, I head to the heart of dear Dublin for me homebrewing supplies.
You head all the way back to Emerald Isle just for a wee batch of grain or a bit of keg tubing?
No, you moronic waste of liver. Dublin, California. I go to HopTech.
For 30 years, HopTech in Dublin, California has been supplying homebrewers with malt extract, fresh grains, hops, soda flavors, spices and sugars, hop oils and extracts, and much more. HopTech is one of the first homebrew supply shops on the internet and is proud proud to offer award-winning beer kits, both online and in their store.
Mention the BN Army for a 10% discount off your order.
The store is open every day except Wednesday, or shop online at hoptech.com anytime. Hoptech is run by passionate, award-winning brewers who live, love, and travel for beer and bring their experience to the store for you.
If you don't want to visit Dublin, just call toll-free 800-DRY-HOPS or go to hoptech.com.
Visit Hoptech today in Dublin, California, and at hoptech.com.
When you hear Blickman Engineering, think innovation, passion, quality, and customer service. Blickman gear is designed by brewers to give you a sense of pride in your equipment. At Blickman, they know what makes brewing a pain and build gear that makes it fun. Like the intuitive beer gun, a completely different approach to filling bottles. The Therminator Wort Chiller, a new take on a plate chiller that's sized for flow, performance, and the high groundwater temps homebrewers face every day. The Brewmometer, a brilliant weldless thermometer design with brewing parameters right on the dial. The Autosparge, ultimate simplicity for preventing an overflow or running your mash tun dry. And much more, like the modular top-tier brewing stand, conical fermenters, and their Boilermaker brew pots. With more cutting-edge equipment coming soon, keep up with the latest from Blickman at blickmanengineering.com and stay on the cutting edge.
Williams Brewing is your online resource for prompt delivery of quality home brewing supplies. Since 1979, Williams Brewing has offered the finest equipment and freshest ingredients and the best customer service in the business. Cut hours off your brewing sessions by using one of our 11 varieties of famous Williams malt extract. Our Williams Belgian Pale Extract is mashed with pure Belgian two-row malt and a small percentage of Belgian wheat malt for an authentic Belgian character you just can't get from other extracts. Or check out our unique fermenters, 2.5-gallon kegs, paintball tank-based draft beer equipment, bottling aids, and much more. We even have our own line of precision hydrometers. Go to williamsbrewing.com to browse our vast selection. That's williamsbrewing.com. Orders placed by 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time ship the same day. Brewing is easy. The Williams way.
Wait till you can pour it out of your own kegerator.
I mean, your friends will look at you with awe.
And it's just hot.
It is?
It's so super hot.
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com.
Because like beer,
Radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to
The Session.
Busted by night, wind whipping out my coat. You can't stop me, motherfucker, cause I'm on a boat. Picture trick, I'm on a boat, bitch. We drinking Santana champ, cause it's so crisp.
I like
got my
T-Pain.
slim trucks,
I don't even
and
know
I'm
him.
flipping floppies. I'm flipping burgers, you at Kinko straight flipping cabbage. I'm riding on a dolphin, doing flips and shit.
Is that JT?
Getting everybody away. Was this SeaWorld?
Is he the other guy in it? Justin Timberlake?
Yeah, he
Am I
always
speaking
collaborates.
English?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
He collaborates with Andy Samberg a lot.
Got it. Nicole likes
He's
it.
funny and attractive, if I
Who?
can just say so. Justin Timberlake.
Oh, yeah? I thought you meant T-Pain.
No, T-Pain's a fugly mofo.
I'm on my way to having a T-Pain grill, though. You know?
Yeah.
I got my...
Start from the back
I got
and work
one,
in front.
Because I have a gold filling on my molar. How white am I? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty hip now.
Well, next time you get mobbed in Oakland.
Yeah.
What you doing? Oh, no, I'm one of you. Look, right there.
They'll take that too.
I don't even go to Oakland. I'm afraid of it.
You should go through it.
Oakland's great.
All right, we're back with Nicole Ernie, bartender at the Trappist, certified Cicerone,
An all-around
girlfriend of
good
Nate.
person.
It's a nice new haircut that does not make her look like a lesbian. I want to point out.
No, the jackboots do. And the flannel.
Right.
But other than that.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking about tasting with Nicole, and we poured ourselves a beer before the break, which I think we're going to get to taste during this session too. But we wanted to talk about some other things about calibrating our palate as well.
For sure.
What does that even mean?
So calibrating your palate means tasting beer with other people and kind of getting to know certain flavor compounds and identifying them, and then seeing where your palate is in conjunction with other people. So the classic way of doing that is using a flavor kit and actually spiking a kind of bland beer with a flavor kit and seeing how well you taste that tastant in comparison with other people.
Mhm.
So the Siebel Institute puts out a kit. There's a few others.
I think we have one around here somewhere.
Yeah, it can be really fun. So that's one great way to kind of calibrate your palate to other people and understand yourself, because that's important when you're judging. You sit down at a judging table and you know that you have a weakness. Like I have a tough time of all things with chlorophenols. I think my mom just used so much bleach around the house when I was a kid. I'm just burnt out on it, and sometimes I just don't pick it up. So if you know yourself, that's really important.
I've used one of these kits.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're trippy. It's like a liquid or something.
Yeah, it's a
right?
flavor,
and you
and
can put it in a beer and like a base beer, and then you can gear your. It's amazing how many girls can't detect date rape drugs.
Really?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
100%.
Wouldn't be date rape drug if you could,
right?
Yep.
A little rum and coke.
So it's interesting that genetics actually do play into whether you can taste something or not. Certain people can taste things in certain thresholds that other people can't. Certain people can't taste certain compounds at all. So that's another thing that's important, especially in beer judging. You can't hate on people because they can't taste something. That just means that their genes either are so that they can't taste it, or maybe they're identifying it as something else. So that kind of goes along with you're not wrong. You're just different.
It does.
Everybody's included.
Does that ring true to you, Scott?
Yeah. Now, so does that count for the legions of American light lager drinkers in the world too? Can you say they're not wrong? They just don't. They just can't taste.
They just don't care.
I see.
It's a little bit different.
There's a difference between not caring and not being able to taste it.
So how do you train your palate and really get into calibrating? I think I'd say that training your palate happens every day. So you have to address certain problems that we have, especially in the U.S. We really bombard ourselves with artificial fragrances and flavors just constantly. All the soaps that we use and things like that have artificial fragrances in them that are actually considered downright dangerous.
Like patchouli.
Yeah, well, that just makes me want to punch people.
Okay.
That's why it's dangerous.
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
But I mean, harmful for your health. Definitely harmful to your palate if you're really trying to have a sensitive palate. You're just bombarding yourself with these excess perfumes and things. It's not helpful. Artificial flavors too. Same thing. It's questionable how safe some of these compounds are. Anyway, we use a lot of stuff in the U.S. that's totally banned in Europe.
Here she goes.
So. Just saying.
No, I agree with you. I was going to make a McDonald's joke because I tend to agree with you. I mean, if you talk about preservatives and artificial compounds. If you could leave a hamburger on your desk for 2 weeks and it looks the same as when you bought it, it's probably something wrong with it.
No good.
And I have a feeling that there's all sort I like that you bring up artificial flavors and probably things like fructose. I mean, if you're having a Snapple before going to a beer tasting, it's going to affect your palate, and that kind of stuff really lingers around the back too. So I think it's a good point you make up. Yeah.
The other one that drives me crazy is smoking. Sometimes people come to the Trappist and I think they're just wasting their money because they're
all stoned.
They buy a $12 bottle of fine Belgian beer and then they go outside and have a smoke before they come back to drink it. And you're just burning out you're literally burning out the parts of the physical parts of your tongue that are helping you taste. So,
yeah, that's a good point.
So
you ever have someone hand you their beer who just had a cigarette?
Oh yeah,
you can smell it on the rim of the glass.
Yeah,
so foul.
Yeah, that's why heroin really is a better way to go when you're out tasting, because it goes straight to the vein.
Well, some people smoke their heroin, Justin. I mean,
yeah, but you can't do that when you're tasting.
Exactly
you gotta.
What I'm saying, yeah. Make sure
chasing the dragon is a whole different thing than smoking a
right. And don't forget, if you've run out of veins, you can always go in between the toes.
See, I used to do the dropper down the back of the nose.
You could use your eyeball too.
Yeah, but that's real weird.
Well, if you ever needed
kind of Mexican.
If you ever needed another excuse to quit smoking.
Tasting good beer.
Tasting your beer is definitely one of them. Tasting everything, if you quit smoking, enjoy.
So is it
everything
okay
a
to
lot
have?
more.
Is it okay to have cigars at a homebrew competition right before the best show around? Like all the
Well, and you know what's really funny about this conversation too?
I've seen people do that before.
Next week's show is actually a pairing cigars and beer show we're doing.
Fine. No, so-
That's great.
It really is.
That's fine. Don't get me wrong. If you want to enjoy your cigar and your beer and you want to explore that flavor together, it's great. But if you're trying to train your palate,
Okay.
And then you're just
You know.
lighting one cigarette off the next outside.
yeah,
Just
you're
a
not
waste of time.
you're not helping yourself. So
All right.
a little different.
Good point.
So how do we then create? Well, I'm going to talk about that later. Let's move on. So I want to talk about tasting beer in a way that most people don't talk about, and this is the original way of tasting, in my opinion, is tasting something and saying, what does this remind me of? You know, when we were drinking this Gordon Bierschmerzen earlier.
Yeah.
While the show was going on, and I was trying to think about it in those terms, like, you know, you might get an image in your head. I was getting this.
Germans and dirndls.
Yes.
Oh, we're not playing this
Sure.
game? Oh, I thought you were going to call out, and I would tell you the first thing that came to my head.
Go for it.
I did.
One of the things that I thought of was this basket that my mom had as decoration, and it had this smell that some real authentic baskets made out of grasses will have, and it had some like dried barley and things as decorations on this basket. So I'm like, okay, so I'm sipping this beer, and this image of walking up the steps and smelling that smell comes into my head. So that's just kind of an enjoyable thing that I get from drinking that beer. It reminds me of being a little kid in my parents' house, smelling this thing that I used to see every day.
Are you sure you don't smoke weed, Nicole?
That's now no longer part of my life.
Yeah.
And just kind of enjoying that memory. And
It wasn't a no either, by the way.
and then by doing that, you can then go back, and if you want to analyze it, you can say, okay, well, why does this image pop into my head? Why does this aroma trigger this memory of being in this time and place? And I started to think about it, and I was like, well, there's a straw-like note that I got from the malt character of the beer that was really pleasant, and it brought back this nice memory for me. And I think that's a really fun way to approach tasting anything.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that requires an awful lot of thought. So I would have to train myself to sit and do that, but I think that's why it's fun.
It does and it doesn't, because like you hand a beer to somebody and they're like, oh, what does that remind me of?
Yeah.
And if you give them a minute, just instead of trying to think about it so hard, just realize like, oh, this is the image that I have in my head right now.
Right.
You know, you don't have to maybe identify why right away, but just enjoy being in that moment and that picture that flavor paints in your head, because that's definitely happening.
I think somehow every beer, in one way or another, raises cleavage into my head in some way, shape, or form.
You're probably right about
you have
that.
a sexual association with beer.
It might be.
That's perfectly
I
healthy.
like how you just deduced that.
the only way you get
Is it
laid.
healthy? Good, because I thought that was real fucked up.
All those beers
Well,
you
no,
had at
actually-
the Portland strip clubs.
It could be associating beer with strip clubs. That's true. Could be that.
Well, one thing I was going to talk about actually was how we have an emotional and emotional connection to these aromas, not just these kind of memories, but the fact that before we could speak and before we used language, we did use food as a means of communication. So how often our mothers fed us as infants is the classic example, you know, the quality of her milk, you know.
Yeah.
So that was a means of communication that our mothers used to comfort us and to help us understand the world around us.
Okay.
So that's kind of at a psychoanalysis level, this kind of
this
the
happens,
basis of this kind of memory of the way we taste.
This happens every day too, just with scents and walking around. A certain scent can it's a big memory trigger. There's a lot of studies about how scents and things can actually be more of a memory trigger even than sights can.
Absolutely, smell has a very intense and very direct connection to our brains. The nerve is literally wired right into the brain from your nose, essentially.
Well, your nose is right underneath your brain.
Exactly.
Is that how the physiology works?
Yeah.
It's pretty much that simple, honestly.
Yeah.
So the use of aroma is actually, even though we're kind of bombard ourselves, like I was talking about earlier, the use of aroma in retail settings and things like that is very common. For example, Cold Stone is known for using the aroma of freshly baked like white cake. And
just in the room, you mean?
Outside
They
of
pump
their
it
business,
outside
they
the
pump it
store.
outside their store. So
That's creepy.
When you walk by, you definitely notice that aroma.
Yeah.
And you smell that, and even though it's not the aroma of ice cream, you want ice cream when you smell that.
Bevo is agreeing. Yeah.
The other one that's obvious is like if you've ever walked past an Abercrombie and Fitch, just
Vagina. Like it's
Dude. Smelly.
Is that why when I walk past a brewery, it smells like they're brewing? I get thirsty for beer.
Yeah.
Pavlov's
It's all
dog
about
over
that
there.
connection. Yeah.
We used to do that at Starbucks a lot. Some Starbucks will take freshly brewed coffee and put it in like underneath the duct where it sucks up the air inside the store, and it blows it outside. So when you walk past it, you smell coffee.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I mean it triggers it. It definitely triggers it. Sense of smell is crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But you think about, we do use the same kind of idea every day. We have a lot of us have pets. We communicate with our pets through food. You feed your cat or your dog regularly, and they know that you care for them and that they become less anxious and they're not worried about whether they're going to get fed or not because you're taking care of them. So that's an example that we use every day. So this is a means of communications between humans and also all intelligent non-speaking animals, and we definitely still communicate through sharing of food and beverages.
Well, that and big belly rubs.
Yeah, that works too.
You gotta get that belly. Yeah, you gotta rub it.
What? How does it go?
You gotta rub that belly.
I wish you wouldn't speak about our private lives.
You hold the cat and you go, oh, that's a big one.
How creepy would it be to walk in on JP and Nicole, totally clothed and everything? Like it's benign, right? But talking to each other. Oh, you rub that belly.
Yeah, get that belly.
Oh, get the belly.
Yeah, you gotta get that. You got beat on that belly. You got beat on.
I would never forget that.
Yep.
I'll post a video on Twitio about that.
But we still
I'll do a Twitio.
We still think about it too. We talk about different cooks or even homebrewers that we know that put their stamp on the food and beverages that they make, and it's like, oh, I can tell this is when I taste these beers, or know.
The house
we
flavor.
talked about that with Sierra Nevada just last week, that they have one of the most distinct house flavors, and it goes in every beer.
We have somebody that makes baked goods for us at the Trappist sometimes.
Tasty.
No.
Oh, different baked goods.
Sarah. But her everything that she bakes is just magical, and it's just she has this magic touch. It's something about her technique and process.
A lot of butter.
You can tell. You can tell.
I don't think she exists.
You can tell that it came from her kitchen.
Okay.
So it's just still a means that we use to communicate. The people that have that kind of finesse with certain things. We know. So you can use. Let's see. What was I going to...
You mentioned earlier gender differences in tasting
Did
things,
I?
being able to pick
It's
up
a
things.
genetic difference.
Oh, genetic, you said.
Yeah.
Gender bender.
Which could be gender. Like, there's certain things like women have lower thresholds for bitterness.
Yeah.
Which is why, a lot of women don't necessarily like bitter beers right away or right off the bat, or maybe why some do. There's some indication that women have perceive more kinds of bitterness, and it again back to evolution, etc. Women mostly, for the most part, women were collecting plants and identifying, okay, this plant is the one that we can take home and feed to everybody.
Yeah, gatherers.
And then oh wait, this plant is one that may have some medicinal properties, and this plant isn't. And the bitterness goes hand in hand with alkaloids, which is the compounds that most of our pharmaceuticals are made out of today. So,
do you think these differences would explain why Terrence the Black's favorite beer is watermelon wheat?
Wow.
Terrence, is that do you think that explains it?
He does.
He agrees.
That was beyond.
What? That's not in your notes?
So what I want to go back to using those kind of emotional triggers to talk about what you're tasting with beer.
Okay.
So I would invite anybody in the forum right now that's drinking a beer, see if you can have that kind of memory trigger, and taste that beer and say, okay, well, this reminds me of something. Like for a while, I was tasting all these beers, stronger beers, and it would remind me of my uncle's house. I'm like, okay, why does this remind me of my uncle's house? My uncle made wine. He made really strong wine that tended to be rather fusely. And I think his cellar wasn't so clean. So you'd go down there, there would be the aroma of not just the grape juice, but of Brettanomyces. So I learned eventually that was an aroma that I attributed with like some Brettanomyces. So it's kind of interesting. It's actually more fun to think about my uncle's cellar than it is to think about Brettanomyces.
That's a good point.
That puts that aroma in context of your real life, not just some analytical thing you've read in a book.
It's an enjoyable thing. So
see, that's the opposite for me. I hate thinking about my uncle's cellar. A lot of weird.
Well, I was gonna make a joke, but it kind of not joking too. It isn't always the case that it's going to be an enjoyable road to go down, is it?
Right.
In the case of most of JP's life.
It can be very painful.
And in turn, there's a lot of other people in the neighborhood that are going to have the same issues.
That's why some people cry into their beer.
Yeah, also, though, even if it's not enjoyable, might end up being a healing process. You could heal through tasting.
You can.
So part of the reason why I was talking about communicating non-verbally earlier was that when we taste, language is only a small part of how our brain processes things. So you get all kinds of sensations and ideas as you're taking in sensory experience that are difficult to describe. For you, it might take the shape of color, or like for me, like I'm talking about all these memories. But try to tap into that. What kind of vision do you get? Do you see like sitting on a hillside on a sunny day? Like maybe you're getting grassy aromas or something that reminds you of a certain tree pollen or fragrant flowers or whatever it is. So I think it can be really useful exercise to sit down with your beer, start smelling it, start tasting it, and throw away all these like, oh, I taste acetaldehyde. No, forget about that for a minute, and just tap into these enjoyable sensations, or in the case of JP, these kind of
painful memories.
Yeah, that's my life.
And see
have a good cry.
Have a good cry and see what you get out of it.
And beat that belly.
I'm making a lot of jokes about this, but I really like this idea and I think it is a fun way to experience your beer.
Well, and I think everyone kind of does it on. You're right. It's very natural. We are trained to fight through that your natural instinct and kind of get really, really technical. But there's a lot of malts. Just malt and hop combinations that are very floral. The name of this beer escapes me, but the malt profile is extremely floral, almost jasmine-like. And you never would really, I don't know, to me it's, I would want to try to get technical with it, but just enjoying the floral aspect and the jasmine of this. It's a trip.
And it's a good point you make in that sense, Nicole, to forget about acetaldehyde or because I think we're certainly me, because of the show and the way we do things around here, and we're always judging everybody's beer and evaluating who did what and how they did it. It's easy to become just cooped up in I detect this and I detect it's the same thing every time. And this is a whole new kind of experience to be able to think about.
I think what happens when you start doing this as an exercise is you actually develop a larger vocabulary that you can then bring back to the judging table or to your
like Uncle's basement
to your beer drinking friends. Yeah,
I'd love to hear you use that at the BJCP table
in your overall comments.
Are you guys picking up creepy Uncle's basement?
Yes,
because there's some.
Oh, that's great.
There's a certain sherry note that it has a hue of my uncle in this beer.
All joking aside, though, Justin, sometimes context can change the beer. When I'll play this game at home where I'll taste the beer sitting in my office, and I'll walk outside in the backyard, smell and taste the same beer. Sometimes the aroma in particular changes a lot if it's a really hoppy beer. Grassiness, because there's grass all around me and plants and so forth there, and flowers blooming and whatnot. All of a sudden the beer will take on a more floral aroma or more grassy aroma.
Right.
So you can you can do that and play around with it and think about, okay, am I just tricking myself, or is that really there to begin with? And I'll go back inside, continue tasting the beer, and then as it warms up, oh wow, I'm getting that same thing I was getting outside.
But it was complemented by the other aromas outside.
It was really there.
Yeah,
like
I just wasn't getting it at first.
It's like a ghost story.
Yeah, exactly.
Did that just happen to me?
Well, that's an interesting way to do things too.
It's kind of fun.
Do you put your pants on when you go outside?
No, I do the opposite. I put my pants on when I'm inside and take them off when I go outside.
Yeah. Even at the new house,
my neighbors love it too. That's great.
What about glassware? doing that maybe in different shaped glasses with the same beer.
Definitely matters.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, you can then use this experience to develop your vocabulary, like I'm saying, and to really start to bridge that gap between the amygdala, like I was saying, and the orbitofrontal cortex. Because for a lot of us beer drinkers, there's not a lot in between.
Yeah.
But
right.
I'm too dumb. I'm too dumb to get that. I'm too dumb to be offended right now.
Right.
But you can definitely use that. I would call myself intermediate level taster. I feel like I have a lot to learn. I don't nail it every time, and I definitely like to use this exercise to kind of expand that, and it makes for a much more interesting score sheet if you are a beer judge, because you can write on a score sheet how something reminds you of a straw or hay, and differentiate between the two, or talk about like an experience, or describe things in these very specific tasting terms, not just
butterscotch and diacetyl.
Not just I taste malt or I taste X malt. Like, well, what does X malt taste like?
Yeah. It's almost not even our vocabulary. The standard vocabulary we use for tasting notes. It's limited. It's not even elaborate enough.
It's very limited.
Yeah.
Because you can, and it's not necessarily helpful to a home brewer if you say I taste German Pilsner malt in your beer. Like, no, I taste a subtle graham cracker note. That's much more interesting to read about, in my opinion. It's also much more interesting to experience, because you can use these experiences to just develop your vocabulary, and then take that to the next level, and just really have a huge vocabulary to talk about beer.
So I want to try this with the people in the room. I don't want you to think about it. I don't want you to take a drink until I get to you. But we're going to start with here. Well, JP doesn't have any.
I don't have any beer.
I don't want you to take a drink until I get to you, but I want you guys to figure yourselves out. Nate has some. I want you to take a drink, and I don't want to do the very thoughtful thing. I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind, because I think it'll be more fun. I don't care what it is. I don't want you to filter it.
Yes.
I want you to take a drink, and I want you to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind.
Balls. Vanilla and lemons.
All right, and this beer, by the way, that we're having, what is this, Nicole?
It's a Nicole Blonde. So Nicole is one of the 7 Trappist monastic breweries. It's the newest of the 7.
Okay.
And this is a very dry blonde from them.
Okay.
Like the skin of lemons, like
Very
the
hoppy.
pith of lemons, almost.
All right. Nicole, first thing.
Blanched almonds and kefir lime flowers.
I don't even know what those are.
You snooty.
Yeah, I can't channel that.
Oh boy, put your nose down a little, will you?
Bring some of those in sometime.
Bugs flying in there.
I've been thinking about this beer for a month.
Right.
What do you want?
Those are good things.
Got a head start.
Jipper, you ready to take a drink?
I'm waiting for my head to die down.
All right, we'll move on to Scott the Jew.
The first thing was tastes very carbonated.
The plight of my people.
That's the first thing that came to
First
mind.
thing
Yeah.
was lots and lots of carbonation.
Which it does. It's a very effervescent beer. And
they laughed at me. Jesus, I'm an amateur.
I'm not laughing at you.
Yeah, it did come out that way. They were actually pointing a wiener at me, and that's what they were laughing at.
By the way, you might not want to bring up that whole Jesus thing. It's a little touchy.
All right. All right, Tasty? Too late. Tasty. We're going to Tasty.
Sweet.
Okay.
Very sweet.
Yeah. I get that, too, actually. Yeah. Now we're on to JP, who's taking a nice sip. First thing, JP.
Corn tortillas and jasmine.
And jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
Corn tortilla.
Jasmine with a J, like the stripper.
Oh, so you screwed up my first thing because you said stripper, so cleavage. Cleavage is the boobs. And I'm not even joking. Boobs are the first thing that came to my mind when I took my sip.
That's sweaty, sweaty or dry?
I'm not sure if it was sweaty, now that you mentioned
sweaty,
it.
okay.
Because the beer is a little, it's a little perfumey and musty.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Actually, this is a stripper smelling beer. It kind of, if you
this
think,
is a stripper.
If you they all have that same perfume.
They're very bubbly.
I get that taste on my, I'm not joking right now. I get that taste on my palate from this. I think it's a very perfumey beer.
Very much so.
I always think of Belgian hops as having that musky perfume-like quality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
People call it perfumey.
Floral and earthy. Yeah.
I think musky is a better way to talk about it, because that's the perfumey quality that I get from hops like Cicerone Goldings.
Yeah, that's a lot better than like Vaggie. I think musky would be a
stripper like.
This beer is very cunty.
Musky is definitely more Cicerone certified like.
Yeah. Use that on a score sheet, JP.
Can you imagine?
Your beer smells like vag.
Did you pour this to your wife?
No, just got to put it like medium vag aroma. Just put that in there in the middle and see if they email you back later.
If I judge at the Queen of Beers, I will do it.
Oh, no. Now, would it be like midsummer vag, or are we talking like December vag?
I'm talking December.
Okay, because that's not bad.
Yeah.
Bevo wants to leave the room, I think.
Wow.
Well, listen, Nicole told us that we could explore our
that's right.
our memories, and
great.
I think that this Bevo, you shouldn't judge us.
I am openly judging you. Nobody else, just you.
I think I'm trying to learn new ways to taste, and I don't see Tasty judging me over there.
No, you're right on.
See,
you taste vag, it is vag.
There's no. We started this with there not being a wrong answer.
You want to try this, Bevo?
But the important thing then is if you want to bring it to that next level, think about why and where that's coming from. So you definitely identify that with a combination of the hop aroma and then some of the artifacts from fermentation that are in the beer.
Right.
So
you do still go back and think about compounds afterward.
You do eventually. I mean, I think that's that bridge. So I think that this is a technique that you can use from beginner to advanced level, because if you want to step back and have a more fun experience with your beer that is going to be helpful in developing your analytical side, I think this is the way to go, because you are adding all of your life experience to your tasting experience, which makes it really fulfilling.
Yeah. All of your life experience, which for Tasty is a lot.
It's a lot of experience, for sure.
Let's point that out.
And I also wanted to talk a little bit about the flip side of this, and that's experiencing other aspects of your life in ways that are going to add to your beer tasting experience later. Because I'm
suicide.
I'm always thinking about what's going to make that next beer taste even better.
Okay.
So I think that eating real food and sharing it with other people and talking about our food is an important thing that I think we really miss out on, a lot of us in the United States. I was lucky, and I grew up in a family that grew and produced a lot of our own food. Like all summer long, I didn't eat any fruits or vegetables from the supermarket. It was all from my grandpa's backyard.
Do you want me to make you a smoothie after the show, Nicole?
Yeah, that would be great.
I'd love to.
Only if I can wear the organic cotton hat.
You can, yeah.
Sweet.
And you have Jersey Shore on TiVo.
We'll do it all at once.
Sweet.
You know what that sounds like to me, Nicole? Poor growing up.
That's all that says. Yeah, she likes to think of it as an enhancing experience, but really, she was poor.
It's like when you're homeless and your kids are going to go car camping for a couple months.
Did you also go car camping, Nicole?
No, we did not.
Okay.
See, Mommy has these little tickets, and they equal food.
Did your folks have a farm, or just in the backyard? We're talking about.
My grandpa had a double lot, and he had about
double wide
15 fruit trees back there, and just every kind of vegetable, 4 different kinds of tomatoes,
Yeah.
And I would just walk around the yard with him, and he would, this time of year exactly, he would cut up for me 3 different varietals of plums and pluots so I could taste the difference. And I think I was really lucky in that sense, and that has really contributed to where I am now.
Yeah.
Just because I was developing that part of my brain as a child, which I think really matters. It's hard to go back and turn on your brain and develop neural pathways as an adult. You have to really throw yourself into it to do that, which is why I think that these kinds of exercises can be really helpful in doing so. But I definitely think that approach to enjoying your food is not only going to be enriching in the sense that you're going to go back to the judging table if you're a beer judge, or go back to your homebrew if you're just trying to analyze your own homebrew and understand it better. It's gonna make you enjoy every meal better, you know?
Yeah.
So if you can enjoy a really fine cheese, or really pick out the nuance of spices in what you're eating, or whatever it is, and talk about it with other people, share it with other people, help calibrate your palate that way by talking about, oh, this is really garlicky. Oh, I don't think it's that garlicky. Whatever it is, it can be really, really interesting, fun, enjoyable, a great social activity, and it's really going to help you develop that part of your brain.
Well, and it's not snobbery, right? You get together with some people and you start describing these flavors or whatever you get. Just stop being such a beer snob or whatever. It's not that. It's you're really trying to enjoy what you're consuming.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think that's what I was talking about earlier when I said, nobody's wrong. You can't approach it with this, competitive attitude. It has to be. I mean, I sound like a total hippie right now, but
which you hate.
It has to be.
It's cool.
It has to be, an exploration.
Yeah.
At the table,
Sure. If Paxton were here, he'd kiss you on the face for saying that, because he's he's not just a foodie. I wouldn't even call him a foodie. He's really about the experience, and he talks to me about that a lot. That's what he talks about is really enjoying slowing down and thinking about the food and where it came from. And he's a real advocate of knowing about your food, about what you're putting in your body, for one. But also, I think you're right that it's if you're doing it with the food that you eat, it then just comes natural to do it with the beer that you drink.
Right.
I think it becomes second nature.
But then not only that, you are then having experiences with real food. I'm not talking about Twinkies here. I'm talking about real food, like you were talking about, like your experience at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
You're gonna know what a big pile of ancho chili smells like because you experienced it.
Yeah.
And then when you smell that in a beer, you're gonna be able to talk about it. When you smell that in a hop flavor from American hops, you'll know what a Kefir lime leaf is because you've had an experience with it. So it's enriching to your life.
What you're not going to know is what a bacon beer tastes like, Nicole.
Oh, you have no idea.
No, she does.
Oh, you do?
Nicole does.
You've gone to the bacon side.
A little bit here and there.
All right. So, Nate, you will not get to enjoy this part of the eating experience.
Actually, you know what? I should have answered your earlier questions. Yes, as I did try a McKellar beer with bacon in it.
You
on
did?
Friday. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if that qualifies, but
sure
sort of does.
Even though I'm making a joke, it's a good example of how, without eating real bacon, you actually don't have the true association. You haven't had the real food, or at least in a long time. Just like if it were some kind of pepper. If I hadn't eaten the actual pepper, I wouldn't be able to relate to it as well in a beer.
That's true. That's true. It also isn't true in the sense that most of the compounds that you're experiencing when you're eating bacon are actually aromas. So just by Nathan having been in a room where bacon was being made, he has a pretty close association.
Yeah.
So there's the amount of flavors are actually pretty limited. There's only about, well, depending on who you ask, 5 or 6.
Yeah, but that's like saying you walked by a strip club and got laid. You know what I mean? It's really not. You need to eat bacon.
Right.
But
to taste.
What if you just caught a whiff as you walked by?
It's not the same because
someone having sex.
Because you didn't get to hear. You didn't get the whole experience, like about how she's going through med school and and this extra lap dance is really going to go toward tuition.
That really builds those emotional connections.
So you're still not. I agree with JP that you know.
Yeah, exactly. She's dancing for you, and you're both pretending that it's not going to go straight into her arm after work. You know.
Right. Jeez, that's exactly right. Those are the places we hang out at, actually. He's not exaggerating.
Yeah.
So, Nicole, do you find that as you develop some of these things that they backfire in a sense almost, that you go back to beers or food that you used to really, really like years ago, and you see them in ways in which you didn't before and you like them less?
Well, yeah, that happens to everyone, I think. It's like maybe you have a favorite candy when you were a kid and you're like, oh, that candy was so good, and then you find it again and you're like, yeah, it's okay.
Right.
Yeah. That's just how it goes. And there's actually, I forget, I wish I could cite the study properly, but I had read about the study a year or so ago, about how they gave all these subjects something really delicious to eat, and they got to like have that memory, and then they went back and gave it to them again.
And punched him in the face.
And they were like all so excited to have it again that they didn't enjoy it as much as they did the first time, because their brains built up the memory of it so much that nothing could live up to that initial experience.
Like that beer that blew you away the first time you had it, and then over the years you say they changed the recipe. This beer is no good anymore.
No, probably
maybe you
know what?
Well, and some
your
of my
anticipation.
Some of my favorite craft beers when I first got into craft beer, the more I learned about flavors and my palate enhanced, are no longer beers that I put on the shelf in my fridge anymore.
I think on the West Coast here, what we do that a lot with is Celebration Ale.
Okay.
I find every year it comes out, and I'm guilty of it. It was better like 10 years ago. And this weird, like 96 was
like
the
anyone,
best.
Like anyone can remember what that actually tasted like.
Right. And and they go, no, they must have changed the recipe. And I think maybe they did 10 years ago. But every year, it's always different.
Sure.
Talk to anybody. It's never the same as the year before.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
But with that specific beer.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Okay.
Sometimes it works the opposite way too. Like, the past few years, I've kind of started to develop a negative association with Sierra Nevada Pale Ale because it's like, oh, well, you can get that anywhere. Why am I going to drink that? It's so widely available. Every time I go back to that beer, I'm just, wow.
Sure.
Wow.
It's no reason
so
not
good.
to like a beer just because it's widely available, right?
It's kind of the opposite.
Yeah, I understand.
The brain is a really powerful organ, and we really
who's that guy? The guy who
out.
made the Fast Food Nation movie. It wasn't called Fast Food Nation, but it was based on that.
Super Size Me.
Super Size Me.
Yeah.
He kind of said that what he said. What he said was that every time he drives his kid by a McDonald's, he's going to punch him in the face. So that
negative association.
Yeah, because one of their
it's gonna be a lot of
tools
bruises.
that they employ is creating a wonderful memory for children.
Yes.
That's why that playground doesn't exist because they're doing mom a favor and giving her a break at lunch. It exists to create positive memories, right down to the aromas, so that instantly when you smell, like you're talking about, Nicole, you think of, oh yeah, when I was 7, I slid down the slide.
Well, you got that toy.
You got
to open the box.
Toy
it was special. You had a different container than mom and dad, and you
Right.
opened it, and you
The whole
had to
experience.
finish your meal before you got to play with your toy. And
yeah.
yeah.
So I like to punch the kid in the face past the bad beer or the McDonald's.
See, if I ever get cursed with a kid, I'm going to punch him every time he sasses me.
Sasses you?
Yeah, and then he will never sass me.
That's gonna work great.
I think it'll work.
I like
it's
that
pretty
you're gonna
radical.
I like that you're going to raise your kid like you're in the 40s every time he sasses you.
Well,
whippersnapper.
Yeah.
Well, he could be. I don't want him to be a whippersnapper, but he might.
He might be.
If I don't give him a good clubbing on the ear.
Right. Okay, anything else, Nicole?
Well, I wanted to see, did anybody write in with an experience like that?
I don't think so. They didn't listen to your advice, I don't think.
Man, come on, guys.
Let's see.
They probably did, but Bevo didn't transfer it over.
I got a suggestion to make you the co-host of Paxton's new show.
Oh, okay.
That people are really enjoying your conversation about tasting and would like to recommend you as the co-host of the new show.
Oh, actually, I have a note from Bevo.
Uh-huh. Oh, this came through. It's,
Oh, it's just
okay. Well, I'm glad that came to a screeching halt.
Thank you.
So, without any tasting experiences, Nicole, and anything else?
No, it's great. I hope that people start enjoying their beer more.
I think you've brought up a lot of great points for me, and I was worried about doing a tasting show because I didn't want us to sit around smacking our lips and tasting beers. I think that there are other programs that do that, and I think that talking about what you taste in a beer is not meant for radio. But I think you did a great job because it was much more, I think, descriptive about how to think about tasting and different ways to approach it. I learned a bunch. I'm being very serious. I learned a lot from you, so I appreciate it. And,
thanks.
I'm sure that Tasty learned a lot, too.
I did learn a lot.
See?
I did have a question or two, though.
Oh, do it.
See, I told you.
Well, what about the physical part of tasting? The, big swallow, small swallow, swish it around, squirt it out your nose.
Does that change?
Spit it across the table.
Great. Yeah.
Any techniques you could offer?
Absolutely. I always tell people at the bar, especially, that you see a lot of people come up and they want to take these little itty bitty tiny sips because they're wine drinkers and they're so scared to put beer in their mouth. Like, oh my God, what am I doing?
And you're saying beer bong is the way to do it, right? Not the little
completely.
Volume in you.
No, you want to taste enough of a beer that you can start to perceive its bitterness in full. So, you want to take a first sip and not think too much about it. You want to take that first sip to coat your palate. You kind of get an immediate sense of the mouthfeel of the beer, especially carbonation, like you were talking about, Scott. That's definitely a big first impression, especially with a freshly poured beer. Then you want to take a second sip, and that's when you start to really get into the beer. That's the way the BJCP recommends tasting, is on that second sip, kind of getting in there and really starting to enjoy it. Really, to fully assess a beer, though, you do need to have several ounces of it to really start to completely perceive the bitterness. So you just want to keep enjoying the beer. Swishing around your mouth, I don't know if that's really necessary. I do it, especially when I'm having a hard time understanding something in a beer. Yeah, usually on the third or fourth sip, I'll kind of let it linger, see if the flavor changes as the kind of carbonation dies down, as a beer warms up on my palate. Temperature of beer is a really big inhibitor when it comes to tasting. You can't really taste much in a cold beer. These Belgian beers we're tasting, we're trying to get all of the nuance from the yeast character out of them.
So if the mountains are blue, do not taste.
Exactly.
Okay.
We're talking about, I don't know how Nate found this out, but he thinks that the temperature of the beers were about 55 degrees when we pulled them out of our cooler.
It was just by touch.
He has an ass thermometer.
Yeah, I do.
That
I pulled it out.
You'd be amazed at how accurate it is.
That was amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty good at that. So.
Wow, I don't know where to go with that one.
I don't know either.
I better segue into something else you just mentioned, Nicole, about bitterness and sample size is really important. I remember that when Colin was on this show at one point a couple of years ago, he talked about one of the things he learned at the hop school that they have every year. There was a researcher there talking about how the way that beer is tasted these days, in a judging context, the judges aren't getting enough of that beer in their mouth to understand the real true bitterness of a beer as X 100 milliliters or something. I can't remember exactly the number,
right.
But
and I agree with that 100%.
Exactly. Too small of a sample, you're not going to perceive bitterness correctly. So you have to make sure you drink more.
The few
drink
organized,
more beer.
Which is a great piece of advice. Well, the few organized tastings that I've been to, I feel like the lush in the room because the other judges or tasters are sitting around and sipping their 2 ounces,
right,
and just sipping it, and they're able to write out their scores and their descriptions of the beer. Well, I'm finished with the sample before I've done half of my writing.
You feel like you didn't even get enough in the first place.
I didn't get enough, and I'm being serious that I feel like I feel like maybe that they look at me as if I'm drinking too much. But to me, I have to remind myself a few times about what I'm tasting to kind of make sure that it's there. And as I'm writing a description for the score or whatever it might be, I want to remind myself again. So I'll take another drink as I'm writing the description.
Right.
And to, like you say, to get the full effect of all of it, I'm not saying I need a full beer, but a 2-ounce pour isn't going to cut it.
They don't call it mouthfeel for no reason. I mean, you have to get enough of that beer in there to be able to perceive that thing correctly.
Right. And so now I like tasting events like the Great American Beer Festival. You get it's a tiny 1-ounce pour. You get to try a lot of different beers. But if any one beer really catches my attention, I have to stand in line 2 or 3 times to really enjoy it and to talk about it with friends. If I'm wandering around with Tasty and one of us have found one we like, I have to get several pours just to be able to talk about it with him. So I think it's a good point. Why is it that most tastings are set up that you only get the little bit? Is it just because of a lack of beer present?
I think at the Great American Beer Festival, it's just crowd control.
Well, I mean more like a judging or some kind of. Why is it off? Is it just that there's not enough beer there to be poured? Why don't we set it up so that we can have more?
Well,
as
no,
judges?
most judgings are set up where you got 3 or 4 ounces.
You do, okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, if they need more beer, they'll require the contest will be more bottles.
So maybe people have just been cutting me off at the tasting.
Well, no. I think like at the festivals like GABF.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a flawed system, no doubt. Because Nicole makes a great point. You have to hit your 3rd or 4th sip. That's when you're really tasting what the beer is.
It's also important just to remember as a judge that you are doing essentially a sip test, which is not accurate. So you have to be aware of the biases that can come out of that kind of sip testing.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
And you're never supposed to spit beer out like winos do.
It's not generally considered a practice in beer tasting. Although, if you need to, if you feel like you really want to get more beer in your mouth and you don't want to consume the alcohol because you're doing an extraordinarily long flight, I don't see why it would be wrong.
I thought that there was a scientific reason.
You do need to swallow some beer.
Yeah, because the bitterness perception is in the back of your throat,
there is a significant amount of taste buds in the back of the throat that are sensitive to bitterness. So that is important. You definitely feel that.
And do you know what the reason is not for wine? Why you're not supposed to do that?
I'm not sure why. I think
forget.
bitterness is not as big of a factor in wine.
Right, but
I think
and
it's
also
just the alcohol.
The alcohol, yeah. The alcohol content is such that you can't do a flight of 12 wines.
Yeah, because you're talking 12-14%.
Oh, I can do
usually.
Yeah, I can too.
And higher. I mean, California Cabernets are like 17, 18%.
Yeah.
So
That's why Cali the best.
yeah, but I thought there was another. I thought there was another palate reason too.
Maybe because you don't have those bitter qualities that you don't need to swallow it.
Yeah, but I think maybe it also has something to do with the way the fusel of all that alcohol affects your palate if you swallow.
A negative impact?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
I don't know.
But don't quote me on that. I just remember there being kind of a reason for both, and I don't remember it being that you would get drunk.
Yeah, well, you definitely perceive of alcohol heat and some alcohol flavor more after you swallow.
Yeah,
So you do get kind of some interesting perceptions from that.
Right.
But I mean, I went through a time last year where I had to give up beer for a while, and we had some really interesting beers on tap at the Trappist and stuff. I had no shame in pouring myself a sampler glass and taking to the bathroom just so I could taste a little bit of it and spit it out. I mean, I know I wasn't perceiving the beer completely, but I could still enjoy it, enjoy the flavor.
And your parole officer never caught on?
No, he didn't. It's great. It worked perfectly.
And the ankle bracelet, you still wearing that?
No, it's gone.
I got to be honest, I would have a hard time spitting it out.
Yeah.
I mean, if I wasn't, I'm not
what
saying
she said.
I'm that much of a lush, but I am saying that even the force of habit would be it'd be rough. I think.
If that's what she said, then marry her.
I was on antibiotics last year for a while and did the same thing with a couple of beers I really wanted to taste. Knew I wouldn't get another chance.
Yeah,
spit them out, and it was pretty tough spitting out that beer.
Right.
Well, chlamydia clears
especially
up
if when it's
after a
good.
while,
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It does actually, JP. It's been much better since.
And you can drink.
Sorry about that, Nate.
Well, no, it was JP that had to go to the doctor.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
I just went to Taco Bell.
And by the way, you can drink on penicillin. It's fine.
Oh, right.
I think it's all right. Some of those heavier
Next
ones
time.
they give. If you get a real bad case, then maybe you can't drink. Yeah.
So right now we're tasting a Ockel Extra. So it's another beer from the same Trappist brewery. The first time I had this beer, I thought it was horrible. I thought it was the worst beer I'd ever tasted because I had a really bad bottle of it. But we just recently got a shipment in on the West Coast. So if you live out here and you see some Ockel Extra, you might want to jump on it.
Okay. This is a great beer.
But buy it first.
Yeah,
you mean the beer had gone bad?
Yeah, it was. I think it had spent a little too much time on the wrong side of the in the container on the wrong side of the ship, if you know what I mean. It was just really, really dry, sour. You know, there's some problems. But tasting this beer, this is really nice Belgian dark strong ale, and the kind of image that comes into my head right away is kind of like a feast table with really heavy baked breads and plums, and just kind of I get this image, not just the flavor of I taste plums. No, I like see these big juicy, black plums and things like that.
The image of complexity in a beer instead of saying this beer is complex.
Yeah.
Do you get any of Nate's Belgian dark strong in here? Do you see any of that in the flavor?
Not quite.
No,
it doesn't suck. That's the problem.
If this just sucked a little more, Nate, it would be your beer.
If you fuck this up a little bit more, you have your beer.
Yeah.
I would tie her to bed and light her on fire if I were you, Nate.
If I dislike this beer by 3%, I think it would be a lot more like
Oh man.
Go ahead. I won't
don't know
tell.
what to say.
No one here is going to report you.
I love its Kolsch.
I get a kitchen full of cookies, but like dark, like at nighttime, maybe when your mom's baking cookies and it's late at night and the oven, the kitchen light isn't on, and
Yeah.
it's kind of nighttime.
See, JP's got the full image.
Oatmeal raisin cookies.
Yeah.
Not
I
bad.
just miss my mom.
Nighttime session.
Yeah, right.
Dimly lit. Oatmeal raisin cookies with chocolate chips.
Stealing Santa's cookies.
Yeah, well, the only light comes from the oven.
The weird thing is, I also have images of JP's mom when I'm
that is weird because
tasting this beer.
Wait.
So,
what do you mean?
Nothing.
So that's perfect, Davey, because you can think about why that is. There is kind of like
I'm trying to think of why he thinks of my mom. I'm trying to figure it out, but I can't.
I guess your mom's pretty tasty.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah.
And slightly alcoholic.
Talk about burn ends. What? Because she was cremated.
Right. Yeah. I am sort of a necrophiliac.
Sort of. It's one of those things you either are or you're not. I dabble.
Terrible.
Yeah.
It's like saying you're half in, half out.
Oh,
I
man.
think people might be starting to think less of you. Wow, it's hard to imagine, isn't it?
Can you imagine?
Wow.
Is that even possible?
I think Bevo is dead. She feels very cold and clammy right now.
Yes.
JP, you mentioned
Trap me in the
corn
freezing
tortilla in the other Akal beer we tasted. Are you
Yes.
getting that in this one?
I don't.
You don't get that one in
No.
this one. It's funny.
Well, see, you said something,
Yeah.
and now I'm questioning that.
Yeah, yeah.
So it kind of goes back to what Nicole's saying. The first, just don't second guess. Don't
Yeah.
question yourself. Your first impression is usually proper when you're smelling it. But
Scott, what do you get? You're kind of a newer palate in the room, talking about beer with us.
Well, that knee-jerk first thing, I pictured like maple syrup pouring down a big stack of pancakes.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a nice picture.
Yeah, and I can pick up on that flavor, too.
Yeah, I get that. I could see how you would get that.
It definitely has way less of a harsh carbonated feeling than the one we just tasted.
Yeah.
Less
And,
bitter. So I guess I'm tasting a little bit more syrupy, a little more sweet.
Which makes sense because a highly carbonated beer, that effervescence can really lift it off your palate as opposed to letting this sit down on it.
Definitely the opposite effect.
Yeah. Nice. Are you proud of Scott right now, Nicole?
Yes, I am.
I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah. But we established a couple years ago that I have a pretty decent palate.
Yeah, that's true. On the FM show.
Did I miss
so.
it?
No, you were there. You just don't ever
tuned
listen
out.
to us.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. Well, I want to thank you, Nicole. Any other questions from Tasty over there about the
No, that answered my questions.
All right. Good, wonderful questions. I do appreciate having you on the show and helping us taste these things. I think you're a very talented palate lady.
Thanks for having me. I was excited to be on the show.
Yeah, it's fun. It's been a long time in the making. I had to beg Nicole basically to put something together for us. Come on, we need you on here. People like you, so I do appreciate you coming back. Next time, you don't have to bring Nate.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
All right.
I have to be the entourage. Somebody's got to drive her to the show. And
Yeah.
That's true.
He's the one that's going to help me qualify for Drunk of the Week later.
She'll be famous enough on her own by that point. She won't need me to drive her around.
Well, and someone needs longer hair than her.
Exactly.
If it wasn't for Nate, you would have it.
Nate,
Justin.
didn't you start the rumor with me the other week that you're thinking about cutting your hair soon?
No, it sounds like a good rumor to start, though, so I'll say yes.
Starting to chop that.
At the GABF.
He's
at the
talked
BN
about it.
booth.
At the BN booth.
Yeah.
talked about it
if
a
you
couple
do
times.
it does have to be done at the end.
Can I do it? I will shave your head at the BN booth.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know that Nate would look good shaved.
Some listeners
No.
some listeners are going to show up with like a plate of bacon and and a razor. Like,
One or the other.
Yeah, you choose now, Nate.
Exactly. It's got one or the other or both.
I don't know how you
Better
would
be
look
organic
with it.
bacon.
Maybe we could start with just a bob. You two can both. You two can both have bobs.
Yeah, who will look more like a lesbian?
Nah, man. We have it in the listeners' hands and end with a mullet or something like that, probably.
Oh, I've always said that if I cut mine, I'll rock a mullet or some
mullet it
stupid
out.
thing for a week.
You're going to
know,
Kenny
or-
Powers this thing and
Yeah.
kind of.
I think it's
mullet it up.
important. I think I owe it to the listeners.
Yeah.
Cut a mullet and then
That's awesome.
the James Hetfield style handlebar,
Yeah.
little mustache thing.
Yeah, we'll have to do it for some kind of charity, like mullets for
Menstruation.
yeah, and menstruation.
Menopause. Mullets for menopause. I support early menopause in women.
Gross.
All right, that'll be our charity. Is there a charity for menopause?
Fucking is
Bevo?
now.
No, I highly doubt it.
There should be.
I wish there was.
Yeah.
But see, I think that's kind of the
Fight
good thing
that.
about girls going into puberty younger. Hopefully, they'll go into menstruation a lot younger too.
What the?
Or menopause.
What?
Because then you
JP,
can't
I
have
don't
kids
even-
after menopause.
Yeah, but you also have no
I see.
sex drive and you're hot all the
There's
sweaty
pills
all the
for
time.
that.
Dry and like the Mojave Desert.
That you just got creepier, believe it or not.
Really?
I Bevo hates me more, and you got creepier all in one show. This is unbelievable.
It's amazing the things that happen in this room.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm offended.
Are you?
I talked
Why?
about sleeping with your dead mother, and you just offended me.
Really? How did I offend you?
I don't know.
It's menopause. It's great. No kids.
It's the end.
Yeah, it's the end.
I'm sure there are some older, lonely ladies that would love
A piece of JP.
a young man of your opine.
Well,
What are their names?
who are we leaving out? Because we've done the blacks, the Jews, JP's mom,
the deads.
postmenopausal women,
Mexicans.
dead people, Mexicans.
Gotta keep it
I feel
slow,
like
or I
we're
think you
leaving
did.
someone out, right?
Native Americans.
Guys in
Oh,
kilts.
yeah, woo
Asian
woo
people?
Indians. Okay.
Yeah, we've left out a lot.
Yeah, a lot.
I mean,
Well,
we
there's
can keep
more for
going.
shows.
There's more shows later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we're not done yet. We're going to come back. Scott has a new game for us that we're going to play. I'd like Nicole to play along with us, too. I think all the Brewcasters will get to play this game. Not Bevo.
That's new and exciting. I never get to do anything fun.
None of the fun stuff for Bevo.
Wow. I'm like Pam on The Office.
Yeah, you are. But you know why? It's because you talk about things like going to a vampire convention or whatever the fuck you're going to. What are you going
Whatever,
to?
Jersey Shore.
Which is very different.
You can't judge me.
I'm not going to go to a Jersey Shore convention. Actually, I would.
Oh, not yet.
I just want to point out that I totally
You want to
would.
see these people in
You're
person.
just like a total Guido. You'd be like, hey, what's the problem?
Hey, I GTL today. I GTL today.
Okay, let's just be real quick. You have not gone to the gym or gone tanning in a long-ass time.
Nor have I done laundry. But give me a gold chain with a cross on it, and I'll start tomorrow.
Whatever.
Or a horn. Actually, it's the horn.
Hey, tonight we're gonna hit the clubs tonight, right, Jay?
Your girlfriend wants to go with me.
Creeping.
Just for the record.
We're gonna go creeping.
Jägerbomb.
Yeah. That's what they call it when they go to the clubs.
Jägerbombs.
They call it creeping.
Go jumping on some grenades
with the ladies. Yeah. You have seen it. I knew it.
Busted. Grenade Free Foundation.
That's right. This is a grenade-free zone.
Yeah.
You could be the Situasian.
Never worked in an Asian reference.
I'd rather be Snooki.
Oh, Snooks. That poor girl.
What a mess.
She is a big, fat mess. Short, fat mess.
I'd watch the shit out of some K-Town, though.
What's
Situasian. Yeah.
That's what it's going to be called. Why is it called K-Town?
I don't know. Maybe they're Korean.
I watch it, too. I like all those things. I liked...
Maybe they're in Kansas City.
I liked that Brett Michaels one, too.
Rock of Love.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't get there.
I like that. Stacey, did you like that one, or are you making fun of me?
I'm too busy watching
Nicole
play with
Nicole's jamming a wooden cock into Nate's face.
Which is true. He's not making that up.
I'm feeling a little cornered over here.
Now you know what it feels like to be me. Now you know what it feels like to be me.
Wow, nothing to say to that.
Yeah. All right, quick break. When we come back, a new game from Scott, the producer. And what else do we have going on? Drunk of the Week.
Yeah.
And which means I have some Belgian candy sugar to give away, et cetera, et cetera. Hang in there. It's the session.
You're listening to the Brewcasters. The Brewcasters on the Brewing Network.
This month, More Beer wants you to meet Darren Schleth.
I've been with More Beer for 15 years.
More Beer partner and manager of the manufacturing shop.
I've been home brewing for 15 years. I've been all grain brewing for 1 year. I took home one of the flat 10-gallon systems to do some more of the testing with what we do at the shop.
Darren heads R&D for all of More Beer's great innovations.
My favorite part about working at More Beer is designing and coming up with new products, like our redesigned conicals with the pressurizable lid. Pretty excited about the way it turned out.
So what 5 things are you going to put on sale for us this month, Darren?
The 5 favorite things I like to brew with is the Ultimate Conical. It has a little more cooling power. Beer Kit 2. Roland and I started with it. I like the fact that it has a carboy so you can see the ferment. The Yeast Harvester so you can collect your yeast for the next batch. Keg Pressure Engage to transfer beer keg to keg. And the Glass Scrubber to clean glasses a little bit easier.
Get to know Darren this month at morebeer.com. 2 years in the making, the best beer chef on planet Earth blows your mind and takes you on a food and beer journey like no other.
Really fun recipe. I took that beer and made it into salt and pepper prawns, and then we marinated it in that beer, so it gave all the pepper flavors and also accentuated the sweetness of the prawns.
From cooking Russian Imperial Stout truffles to amazing food and beer pairing.
I made a simple ice cream base, and then with that base, I added in hops, a hop infusion in 100 proof vodka, and use that as a vanilla extract.
The home-brewed chef will make cooking fun again, the way it should be done with beer.
Why not make a beer that not only would go great with a dinner, but plan a whole dinner around it?
Barley wine prime rib, chocolate stout pudding, doppelbock wild mushroom gravy, garlic IPA brine pork, and that's barely the beginning.
Cooking with the beer, pairing with the beer, taste it, and just think about what this is going to be good with. Put some in the sauce, substitute some of your liquid, use beer.
Tune in for the home-brewed chef only on the Brewing Network.
What's up, dude? Why the long face?
Valentine's Day was awful. The World of Warcraft subscription was a strikeout.
Ooh, yeah, I hear ya. A couple of years ago, the new Hoover I got my wife was a bomb, too. But last year, I found PlayfulEvenings.com.
Why? What's that?
You know, Mrs. Badrock's store. It's awesome. Totally tasteful passion toys.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What's a passion toy?
You know, it's central aid in the bedroom.
Ooh.
All kinds of stuff. Massage oils, couples games, lingerie, and books.
Books?
Yeah. Where do you think Ticklish Pickle came from?
Yeah, boy.
Seriously. Fun stuff, and Mrs. Badrock takes care of the BN Army with 10% off. Go to playfulevenings.com and click on Shop Online now. Put BN Army in the coupon code.
PlayfulEvenings.com. Thanks, Mrs. Badrock. You're a lifesaver.
BN Army, it's Valentine's Day all year long at PlayfulEvenings.com.
Do you support the Brewing Network? Do you brew your own? Are you looking for an economical, fun, and legal way to do both? Subscribe to Brew Your Own magazine and do just that. All year long, Brew Your Own will surprise you, entertain you, and educate you with articles on beer and brewing from authors like the Brewing Network's very own Jamel Zainasheff and John Palmer. Each issue is a full pint of brewing techniques, homebrew stories, tips and photos, projects to make yourself, and recipes for the avid home brewer. Get your tough questions answered by Mr. Wizard, and polish your style accuracy with Jamel. A portion of every subscription goes to the Brewing Network, so subscribe today at byo.com/Brewing Network, or just click the BYO logo on the Brewing Network homepage and support a fantastic hobby and your favorite broadcaster. Brew Your Own, the how-to homebrew beer magazine.
What's funny is brewers will say, yeah, I don't brew to stop. I'm brewing my own beer. And it's like a German Pilsner, but it's black. Yeah, it's a sports beer. You know?
The home of live beer radio.
TheBrewingNetwork.com. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck. You're listening to The
Session.
You're listening to the Brewing Network. Because like beer, radio shouldn't suck.
JP just lit Bevo on fire.
Well, now, I hit her hand.
That's on the video.
Accident.
We have that on video, you know.
Well, you tried to block it. I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm sorry.
That was violence. It's on the camera. You just punched her right in the knuckle.
Don't tell her this, but she fucking deserved it.
Right in the moose knuckle.
Oh, all the way up there?
Yes.
My anatomy's all messed up.
I don't even know what that is.
You have to be a dude to have it, so don't worry. You don't have a moose knuckle.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Sorry, Bevo. You okay?
Whatever.
Are you all right?
Sorry I lit you on fire.
Yeah.
You're just so pretty that I just can't.
I can't keep from punching you.
But now that you have no lips on your face, we're breaking up.
All right, now go back to work, Bevo. Answer the goddamn phones. All right, couple things left to do. We've got some feedback to do today. We've got a homebrew that Tasty brought in from a listener.
Timmy Rene from O'Fallon, Illinois, sent in this Belgian double. He same wort, two different yeasts. He used the WLP 530, the Abbey yeast, and he used the White Labs WLP 575, the Belgian Ale blend. That's the blend of multiple yeasts.
Yeah, okay.
And just basically...
dark candy sugar from
Dark Candy
Ink in there, too?
Exactly.
Boobs.
Oh, good. You know, we it's been a long time since we've had a beer made with the dark candy.
Yeah.
If you were at the national conference, you may remember Tim. He won the short course. Remember the guy that won the class, the Siebel class?
Oh yeah, that's Timmy.
Cool. That was Timmy.
Timmy's a good guy.
Yeah,
military guy. Looks like he can beat your ass.
Does this beer remind you of cleavage, Jay?
It did. It instantly reminded me of boobs. Right in the beginning. It's a really nice beer.
Very nice beer.
I'm enjoying this beer a lot. But I think the real test in the room is whether or not Nicole is enjoying this beer a lot.
Belgian beer aficionado.
Wow, no pressure.
What do you get out of it?
Timmy, by the way, has a thick skin, Nicole, so you can tell him to suck it if it's bad.
I don't think he's listening. He's
but he will
right now.
We just want to know if it's better than Nate's.
Well, the double Nate made for me for my birthday was excellent.
So the first one I tasted was the one with the Abbey Ale yeast.
Me too.
Yeah. We're friends.
See how
We
on
do
par
things
we are?
together.
Yeah. Did you read off all these ingredients, Tasty?
No, you want me to kind of go over the recipe?
Yeah, go for it, just because that way
All
the
right.
folks at home can play along.
For 14 gallons, he used 21.3 pounds of Belgian Pilsner, 2 pounds of Munich, 1.2 pounds of Special B, a pound of Belgian Aromatic, a pound of German Cara Munich 3, and 1.5 pounds of dark candy sugar.
Attaboy.
That's what made this beer pop.
Yeah.
Dark candy comes through for sure.
Yeah, you can really taste it in there. It's such a unique... That's one of those
Very.
kind of house flavor things, I think, from them that I really like.
Adds a lot of character, that sugar.
And I'll try the other one with the Belgian Ale blend.
Hey, I'm doing that too.
Both from our friends over at White Labs. Mike White's Kid's coming out soon.
Gladstone.
Another week or two, little Gladstone White. Or Terrence the White. We're not sure which one he's going to go with yet. Or 005. They still haven't decided. But
That's what we're going to call him anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How's old 005? Better than Ocho. You know, right?
Yeah, I get it. Well, because you kind of draw an 8 with 2 O's.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of like that.
Thank you, Nicole.
I kind of like the Abbey yeast.
It's got more character.
I think the
doesn't it?
Belgian ale's a little drier.
Yeah, it's not as interesting.
And I think that it does. I think the candy sugar comes through more with the Abbey.
Mm-hmm.
The Belgian ale blend has a little more bitterness to it instead.
Belgian ale blend seems a little more medicinal to me too. Like the alcohol quality has a little less ester complexity, a little more medicinal.
It reminds me of a lake.
A lake.
I would say that the Abbey Ale definitely has a more in-your-face ester profile. There's kind of a bubblegummy note to it that stands out to me. It also kind of really enhances the malt character, which I think is why we were all tasting the candy sugar a little more in that beer. But for some reason, I'm actually more drawn towards the blend in the sense that there's it's a little bit softer.
Right.
A little drier.
And a bit drier. Yeah.
A little understated.
Yeah.
The Abbey, I get a pork roast. Reminds me of a beef roast or a pork
Makes me want
roast.
to eat a pork roast, that's for sure.
Look at the vegetarian go. I like it.
That'd be
making
that would
some
be a
headway there.
fantastic pairing.
I just ordered you a meat lover's pizza, by the way, for after the show.
Double stack.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's all about that flavor memory earlier. I'm thinking about my mom's pork roast, which obviously before I was vegetarian was one of my favorite meals that she would make.
Sounds
dirty.
And that would be perfect.
When did you quit eating meat?
I was hardcore vegetarian for about 6 years, and even now my diet's probably about 95% veggie.
Okay.
I just I do enjoy meat, but I try to eat it
Sparingly.
for special occasions occasionally.
Like Mondays?
When I'm really going to enjoy it.
Okay. What was the reason that you stopped eating meat?
Well, just working in the food and beverage industry, you hear of all these restaurants opening, you want to try things out, and it became an issue of like I really felt like I was missing out. And when I started to feel like I was missing out, I decided it's not worth having that feeling. So now I don't feel like I'm missing out, but I still have a diet that I think is good to my body and good to the earth. I am a hippie. I'm lying to myself. I'm such a hippie.
You end up being what you hate the most.
And we all
look at
know.
Luke Skywalker. He
Yep.
ended up becoming the thing you hated the most.
It's true.
But
And she has a drawer full of patchouli.
That I do not.
Mhm. You just moved into the new place, Nate. Did you find her patchouli stash?
Oh, yeah.
Stash?
It's right there.
It's right
For
there.
the
Just kidding.
record, I did used to wear perfume oils, but never patchouli. Always Egyptian musk.
Mm.
And even now,
Stripper.
even now, when
Sorry, memory
when I
reflex.
smell Egyptian musk, it makes me want to punch people now because it's just too intense.
Egyptian, you always would just want to be smelled like you were groped by a sweaty Egyptian man or something?
Dead mummy musk.
I don't know what it is.
Decided that patchouli is the signature scent of women in Berkeley.
Oh, well, that's true.
Pretty just decided that?
Which is why it makes you so angry every time you go there.
Yeah, I hate it.
Well, that and it's cheaper than deodorant.
Right.
So that's
Yeah,
how
it's
that-
always patchouli and funk.
Yeah, that's why you want to punch people when you're there, Bevo, I think.
I work there.
Now,
Punch
is
people
the
Every day.
the kind of medicinal qualities that you picked up out of the Belgian ale blend, Nate, is that a flaw in this beer, or is it just a characteristic?
It's a characteristic. It pushes it for me personally, but I wouldn't say it flawed the beer and made it to the point where it didn't belong, but it has a little bit more of that than the other one by comparison.
Okay.
To me, yeah.
How'd you get this beer, Tasty? He sent it to you?
Yeah, he sent it to me.
It's really
Thanks,
nice,
Timmy.
really nice beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
enjoyable.
they're both well made.
Beautiful. All right. Appreciate the sending the beer, letting us taste it on the air. We do have a Drunk of the Week phone call. We could go to Sean from Illinois on the line. Sean, what's happening, brother?
Not much, man. Just been drinking.
Oh, yeah. Good way to...
I'm on that treadmill, too.
Good way to spend a Sunday. Tasty's been drinking all day also.
All day, yeah.
Went to a picnic today.
He looks like he's in a coma, man.
I think he is. He's in a beer coma.
Yeah.
He went to the, what was it, the Doe's?
Yeah, we had a 3-club meetup.
The trifecta.
Must have had 80 home brewers there or so.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
That sounds like it went to 11. All right, Sean, what have you had to drink today?
Let's see. I've had 2 Ska ESB Special Ales, a Modus Operandi, Samuel Adams Cranberry Lambic, Ska Brewery True Blonde Ale, a St. Bernardus App 12.
Oh, yeah.
That's an
and 2 Sierra Nevada Torpedoes.
Wow.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's a pretty long list. When did you start today?
About when the show started.
Jeez.
Damn.
I'm feeling no pain.
Wow.
I would have cut you off.
Did you have a bad day, or you just looking to have a good time? Oh, she did? Your wife tried to, and then you set her on fire?
I'm not working tomorrow, so it's like I could just go ahead and just have some beers.
Just waste your whole day.
That's what you have the separate beer fridge for. You can't cut you off from that one.
That's right.
That's also where you work on that left hook.
Yeah, and then you say
Well,
something
because,
like,
you know,
you're
I
not
kept
the
coming
boss of me.
upstairs. I'd come upstairs, I'd grab a beer. She's like, she keeps, I'm dry. Every time I come up, I'd grab a beer.
Like, are you sure about that?
You know what? To me, that's the worst ones where you get the question like, "Do you really need another beer?"
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you really need to ask a question that you know the answer to? Idiot.
Idiot.
If you add idiot,
The
it works every
answer's
time.
no.
I mean, let me
But
just
I'm
say
going to drink
this.
one anyway.
Let me just say this right now, ladies. Don't do that. If you have something on your mind, go ahead and just say it. Say to Sean here, I don't think you should have another beer. And then at least he knows how to respond. He
Impossible.
could say, for example, fuck off. Or he could say, you know what, sweetheart, I appreciate your whatever, and I won't. But to do the whole...
Passive-aggressive.
To do do you really need to have another beer? Just don't.
That's how girls, they passive aggressive.
Scott, that's how all women do it.
All women, yes.
Yes, every single one.
I'm just saying that you will help yourself and your relationship if you don't do the whole question thing. That is all. That's the end of my public service announcement
Thanks
for today.
for that.
Gentlemen, you're welcome.
Well, that is very true. And also, if you're married at this point, that is the dumbest question you can ever ask. If you're maybe still dating and trying to figure that out, then maybe you don't know. Maybe he really needs another beer, and you can have that conversation. That's fine initially. But at the point where you get married, that's a retarded question.
Sean, how long you been married now?
12 years.
See, she should know better, and you should yell it at her at the top of your lungs next time.
Nate's asked me that question a couple times. Does that make him a
Nate
chick?
asked it of you.
Total chick.
You are the chick in the relationship. Especially with that new haircut now.
And that
I'm not sure what that means.
Sean, I will send you.
I'm really not sure what that means.
Oh, she totally just stole my wiener opener.
And put it on.
She likes it, doesn't she? She might be...
Sean, I will send you extra Belgian candy sugar if you go light your wife on fire.
Wow.
Oh, no.
Imagine that, Sean. 2 whole pounds.
Yes, I'll send you 2 pounds
for a wife.
You can eat it while you're in jail, and maybe you can make some toilet wine.
Right.
You can drizzle that candy sugar over her as she's burning and enjoy the caramelized candy sugar.
All right. Please,
can't do that.
Please apologize to your wife on my behalf.
Wow, I hope
If
she's
she's
not
listening.
All right, Sean, you sound like you got a pretty mean resume there, so you are now on the list for Drunk of the Week, my brother.
Attaboy.
All right, sweet, man.
Thanks for listening.
We didn't ask him if he had any visions while he was tasting his beer.
Oh, hey, Sean, are you still there?
Yeah.
Have you had any visions tonight while tasting your beer? Nicole wants to know.
No, just hot plants dancing through my head,
There you go. That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Good enough. All right, brother, thanks.
Justin, we should cut some PSAs to air in between commercials. Hi, I'm Justin Crossley from the Brewcast.
Right.
You know, I kid around a lot on the radio, but telling your wife she's a cunt is no laughing matter. Stuff like that, like real PSAs.
It might be a good idea.
Probably true. Setting your wife on fire is not a good idea.
And cut out every other part of the show, but send that to your lawyer. Just that little part. See?
If you've ever had these sort of thoughts, you might want to seek help.
Yeah. If you've been listening to Eminem lately and are having visions of tying your wife to the bed and lighting her on fire, listen to this.
That's Eminem's problem.
Yeah.
Woo!
All right. I need to get this out of my system. Someone's getting lit on fire.
Terrence is here.
It's going to go on for weeks.
You're going to Burning Man soon enough. You can light a huge thing on fire.
Every time Terrence comes into the room, you send him out.
I always have to thank Terrence for coming in the room and allowing me to be a racist for 5 minutes every week. All right, thanks, Terrence. You can go home now. Yeah, it's always like that. Poor guy. Just came to say hi, man. All right, 888-401-BEER for Drunk of the Week. And you can also join Bevo in the chat room. We're going to play a game here in just a minute. Scott's going to get it ready. Let's see. How many? Somebody count for me. How many people are in the room besides Bevo?
7, 6.
Oh, thank you.
No, 5.
So, well, I'm not going to blame
counting you or not counting you.
6.
So what we need
is complicated.
Bevo, what we need from the chat room is 5 names. So people in chat, call out who you want to play for you, because we're the contestants in here, the Brewcasters. So, for example, if you want JP to play for you, you would be the first one right now to say JP.
There's 6 of us.
But there's only 5 of us playing.
Yeah, I'm not.
Or Tasty. So, Bevo, you're just writing down the names of the first people to say our names, and that's who we're playing for. Got it? Okay. And
I hope I play for someone cool.
You need to give just find a pen for Bevo somewhere, please.
My name is Cockpopper, by the way.
What?
Cockpopper. There we go.
Is that your new forum name?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Cockpopper.
Everyone loves those.
Everyone loves a cockpopper.
I know I do.
Where are you dancing at later
doing
tonight?
A PSA right now. Yeah. I know I do.
A cockpopper.
I used to get those from the ice cream man when I was like 6.
Cockpoppers?
Uh-huh.
I think those are...
Coming to the back of my truck.
Sounds like something the priest would be giving you.
Aren't those just called amyl nitrates?
I got something juicy.
I like this segment with Nicole.
Me too. Something happened during the break. Did she?
Yeah, it was called
she went and slammed a few beers or something.
Right?
Yeah.
She found the cockpopper. All right, I need to do feedback.
Oh my God!
You've got mail.
Kick ass.
Feedback's brought to you today by HopTech in Dublin. You can go to hoptech.com and check it out. And they're a great homebrew shop that's been around since the 80s, even.
I think so, yeah.
They've been around longer.
My first kit came from there.
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Ah,
There's good people there.
They've been around since Back to the Future. So check it out, hoptech.com. All right. Some interesting stuff in the feedback today. The BN got listed in somebody's wedding vows.
What?
Yes, another level of BN infiltration.
Do we have audio?
We
I did,
apologize.
Unfortunately, no audio, but that would be wonderful. Our good friend Chris, who I believe is from Austin, if I remember correctly, just got married, and he sent us this note. He says, "Hey, Justin, I just wanted to let you know about the role you play in my marriage. My wife and I got engaged in Santa Rosa last year, the week before NHC, and got married yesterday at our homebrew club's annual picnic. This was a civil wedding, so they're still having the wedding for the family in November. But the session got a mention in the poem that she read to me during the wedding.
Wow.
I have the whole poem here. Shall I read it?
Yeah, please.
Read it.
Read it in a nice
Read it
voice.
lovingly in a wonderful smoothie drinking voice.
Shall we have some sexier music to play? Then
I want a smoothie while you read it.
I can't make the smoothie now.
Aww.
Just gonna stop watch me burn.
Is that sexy enough?
Well, that's alright because
I'm helping their marriage here.
here.
I love you, Chris, and your beer. Should I do it in my man's voice or a chick voice?
In your man's voice, but,
Chick voice, chick voice.
Say JP instead of Chris.
A breathy chick voice?
No.
Yes, breathy.
You'd like me to change every Chris for JP?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't tell you what it really is. I can only tell
All right.
you what it feels like.
I love you, Chris. JP. And your beer. I love you and the beer you make. Your patience and the time you take. Out in the garage, sweaty and hot. Blasting the session. Rat-tat-tat and whatnot. You always have something I like on tap. You know I'm a cloudy wheat beer sap. And when I'm feeling a little bit blue, you're there with a dirty martini or two. But your brewing represents so much more. The characteristics I've grown to adore. Your dedication to giving your all. Observing the detect.
Justin, wake up, buddy. Hey, we're doing a radio show. Let's go.
Knowing perfection is not the goal, but the journey that truly feeds the soul. I wrote that line for you. Although ribbons and medals are shiny and new, you always return to the tried and true.
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
So, JP, I tell you what,
What?
sometimes the beer mess is a pain in the butt.
Oh, you know what? That's not nice.
But I toast your commitment. I toast our new life.
Oh, great.
I toast the rest of our days as husband and wife.
Oh, you know, that's a little weird. I'm kind of over this now.
That was it.
Is there a real knife in the studio that I can actually cut myself with and not just pretend to?
Was it too sappy for you?
Oh
or was
my
it...
gosh, really?
What were yours and Sam vows like?
We did traditional vows.
You did?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, this was the
bless
homebrew
my
wedding
wiener,
vows.
Jesus, because it's about to enter the sanctity of Bevo for the first time.
Thank you, Lord, for helping, for letting me find Beverly so she can help, her vagina can help me get the poison out of my balls.
Thank
Wow,
you.
this is terrible.
Thank you, baby Jesus, for not having Bevo succumb to the temptation of that black guy she used to date.
For, as we know, the devil does take many forms, whether it's a Twilight video or a big black guy.
He's not a big black guy.
You may kiss the bride.
Was this how
my
you're...
God.
Is that what you meant by traditional?
You were at my wedding, stupid.
Oh.
Here's your names.
Okay, thank you. All right, Chris and Mrs. Chris, congratulations getting married, and thank you for putting us in the vows. That's a first here at the BN. So
Yeah, really, right?
And thank you for letting us butcher them as well.
Lovingly.
All right, let's see what else do I have here. Hey, Justin, was listening to last week's show via podcast and heard you talking about your broken tooth.
Oh.
I found myself laughing out loud. Not because I revel in the misfortune of others, but because it was a relief to know I'm not the only one that shit like that happens to. After a recent
Nicole, drunk of the week?
Pneumonia or something. After a recent University of Arkansas football game, I was challenged to a foot race to the tailgate back by a buddy.
Oh, that sounds good.
So already, I read this line during the week and just started cringing instantly, like the drunken foot race between guys who
Face
haven't,
plant, yeah.
you know, they haven't run in 15 years.
Hey, bro, I'll race you to the tailgate.
Yeah.
You got it. Let's go.
He went right, I went left, and about 10 strides into my sprint, I hit a curb and did a face plant into the ground. Oh. I apparently suffered a slight concussion because when I tried to get back up, I saw little birdies and did a second face plant into the ground.
Curved himself.
I staggered to my feet, and immediately my tongue felt the Grand Canyon-sized hole where my two front teeth used to be.
God. Ruthless.
And he actually, I guess he still had his teeth, but there was about a quarter inch to a third of an inch, or a quarter to a third of each tooth missing. Yeah, like just you could fit a cigar through it. He sent me a picture.
What?
Oh, my God.
And he said,
Sound
yes,
like a church
alcohol was involved.
What?
Yeah. So now he has veneers that fixed it. So
yeah.
Anyway, he says, enjoy the show. Interview with Sierra Nevada guy was top-notch. Happy Brewing from Brian in Fayetteville, Arkansas, I think. Yeah, Arkansas.
That was a great
North
interview.
Carolina?
Steve was a really interesting guy.
Steve was good, right?
He was awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed last week. Let's see. Hello.
Hi.
I just found the site and appreciate what it is doing.
Great.
I have 2 points. First, I want to donate to the network, but the only way to do so is via PayPal, which I have an account with, but it's been inactive for ages.
PayPal sucks.
I currently live in... Shut up, Nicole. PayPal is wonderful and pays our bills.
Oh, PayPal's awesome.
It allows you to be here tonight.
But, let's see. I currently live in Europe, but my credit card is in the U.S. Get into your fucking life story here.
I'm 6'2".
It's caused problems for PayPal. Is there another way to donate? Here's the short feedback. Is there another way to donate via credit card without PayPal? No.
Money order.
You can send a check.
Yeah, send a check.
Or a money order.
Money order.
Right. Or cash.
Yeah.
Address that to Beverly Berry.
Yeah.
And then we will never get it.
Right. So, yeah, sorry. PayPal makes it easy, and it's really the only way
so
to...
amazing. I love it.
See? The new spokeswoman of PayPal. Spokesperson, I should say. I don't want to be a showman.
It makes it so easy to pay for everything.
She's still in the running for the Paxton Show.
I love her.
Ladies and gentlemen. Second, I tried to look through the FAQs, which we don't have, but I would like to download a lot of the archive to listen to when I'm driving with an iPod. Is there an easy way to do this? I'd go to iTunes and subscribe to the podcast there. I think that's the easiest way to download multiple shows.
Because it'll even say, like, do you want to...
Get all. You can click get all.
Yeah.
Right. So use iTunes with your iPod and subscribe to the podcast. The address for that is right there on the session page, so you'll find it.
You'll figure it out.
Now, here's another one from Sean. I just recently got turned on to the Sunday session. A lot like Nicole. And I love it. From what I've heard from other feedback, I'm supposed to say something along the lines of, fuck you, JP.
No.
I don't think that. I think it's suck it, JP.
Suck it, yeah.
But he says, fuck you, JP.
That's not really nice, Dad. I really don't appreciate it.
He says nothing personal. I'm just following protocol.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Me too. I absolutely love the interview with Steve Dressler from Sierra. I lived in Chico for 3 years, and like others, my first craft brew, and still one of my favorites, was the Sierra Pale Ale. While living in Chico, I had the pleasure of tasting quite a few of the brews,
and co-eds,
etc., etc. My family, let's see, while Steve was talking about 16 beers on tap at the brewery, I couldn't help but think of one of the last times I was there. My family was eating at the restaurant to celebrate my birthday, and while we were waiting, I went to the bar to order a few pints for myself and some others. And there were a couple guys ahead of me. And when the bartender asked them what they'd have, one of them says, "I'll take a Coors Light."
Oof, wow.
At the Sierra Nevada Brewery.
I'm totally going to do that if you ever go there.
Shove it up your ass.
The bartender stared at the dude incredulously, as if he had just said, I sent my kids off to Michael Jackson's place for the weekend. Got in a Michael Jackson joke.
He's a good beer writer. I don't get it.
His friend looked at him, called him a fucking idiot, and ordered him a blonde ale. They took their beers, paid, and walked away. When the bartender came to me, I was still dumbfounded, and I asked him, what kind of fucktard comes to a brewery and orders someone else's shitty beer? He simply nodded in the dude's direction and said, that kind.
Wow.
Right. That's from Sean. Thank you for the story, Sean. And it was a good show. All right. So I got this email about Scott this week. And it's funny because I got...
Scott's doing a very good job. Signed his mother.
Well, I got 2 emails from him.
I hope it's not hate mail.
Well, I got 2 different emails from the same person.
Uh-oh.
One when he was drinking, and one when he had sobered up about 2 days later.
I don't know which one is going to be good and which one's going to be bad. It could go either way.
Could it really, though?
Here we go. This is from Colin.
Come in.
Colonial foot soldier in the chat or forum or whatever. I don't think the new producer, Scott, takes very good record of the chat comments. I'm sure there's a lot coming at him, but I just heard him say that no one guessed Tasty's drink count of 4. I sent him a private message guessing 4 beers.
Tasty didn't have 4 beers.
And he even responded as noted. I may have a good buzz on, but I know what I guess. So suck it, Scott the producer, and suck it, Bevo, for not being there to take proper records last week.
Whatever.
From the Colonial Foot Soldier.
She knows that she wouldn't have done a good job.
Scott, were you not paying proper attention to our listeners in the chat room last week?
I was. It's him. That was the drunk one, right?
This was the
Clearly.
drunk one, yeah.
Right, because he must have followed up later with, I'm a retard, because Tasty, in fact, had 2 beers, not 4.
All right, let's see what his second email says. Here we go. Well, I would like to retract my email from last night. My drunk ass heard they say the lowest guess was 4, and I misheard it as he had 4 beers. Looks like I'm the one who needs to suck it this time.
Again.
Cheers from Colonial Foot Soldier.
Well, you're forgiven.
Nicole's jabbing at him through the camera right now.
He's
also in the chat this evening.
Oh, okay. I took, I'm a detail-oriented fella. I took note of everyone's guesses. Everyone was just wrong.
Okay. I'm watching you, and so are they. Just want you to know. All right, that's it for feedback. Feedback was brought to you today by HopTech. You can go to hoptech.com or visit them in lovely Dublin, California.
Yes.
And you can go check out their showroom and buy stuff and do things to support them for supporting us.
But don't blink
brand
or
new,
you
by
will
the way.
drive through Dublin.
Yeah, Dublin's small.
Yeah.
Brand new sponsor, HopTech. So give them some support and love. All right, I've got another Drunk of the Week phone call, it looks like. Thief from Orange County, California. Thief, what's happening?
Hey there.
How are you, brother?
I'm doing good. I tried to call last week, but unfortunately I passed out before I could actually make it.
Wow. So 2 weeks in a row, Drunk of the Week for you.
So I'm trying for it.
All right. What have you had?
This week I started at Taps in Brea, California. I started there, had a Belgian White, had the Mischief, which is a copy of the Mischief from the brewery, which is a 7.9% Belgian ale.
All right.
Had two of their IPAs.
Okay.
And one of their Imperial Stouts.
Oh.
And then I had some Sierra Nevada Celebration. And I had a Bomber of the Green Flash Double Stout IPA, or Double Stout
beer
ale.
Yeah.
People are going for it today.
Was this like 2 years ago, though?
And then I tried for the Stone RIS Russian Imperial Stout, 10.5%.
Wow.
And Ewell Smith from AleSmith.
Will Smith?
Bomber
Yeah, the new
of
AleSmith
that.
beer.
Yeah.
It's called the Fresh Prince of Will Smith. Thief, how old are you, if I may ask?
I'm 42.
And how much do you weigh?
Just a little over 200 pounds.
Fatty.
And are you 4 foot tall?
He's 4'11".
He's 4. How tall are you, Thief?
I'm 6'2".
Okay. I'm not trying to be mean. that's a lot of high alcohol beer you've had, man. And
where did you get Celebration?
I've been brewing for several years, and I'm actually I judge beer competitions, and people are amazed at the amount of beer I can drink.
Do you have a wife?
You have to be a pretty big guy to drink all that beer.
That was Nicole's impersonation of Thief, by the way.
I'm jealous. That's all. I'm just jealous.
I'm sorry. Did you say you do have a wife, Thief?
I do have a wife. She's here.
Would you be willing to set her on fire to win Drunk of the Week?
Aw, come on.
No.
At least flick a match at her.
Yeah. Guess not.
I've got friends that can attest the amount of beer I can drink, and I actually last week I was very disappointed, and I had friends making fun of me for the fact that I actually passed out before I made it, but I actually drank a full growler of an 11% beer.
Wow.
I couldn't imagine you ever get made fun of.
That was my start. It was the Tap Thomas Jefferson. It's
all right, I can't take it anymore. Thief, you're definitely Thief. You are in the running for Drunk of the Week, and really with an impressive resume.
Yeah, very good.
That's super. That's a hard-working liver.
Yeah, you got a good
You must
liver.
have a hollow leg.
Jesus. But that Celebration ale, where do you? It's not even out yet. So it's got to be a year old, right?
Yeah, it's an old one.
I wonder how it tasted.
So people collect them.
That's when you want to age.
So I'm tallying beers, by the way. I haven't been writing down all the names of them or anything, but Sean had 8 beers, according to my tally. And Thief had 9, although one of them was a bomber. And a lot of them were pretty high alcohol. So he's got a better slur resistance than I do, that guy. He was sounding pretty good.
Who, Thief?
Even though you
Really?
could tell he was... Did you find him slurry?
A little. I think he merges his words a couple times,
I think he was the kind of guy that talks at one speed all the time.
I think when he's sober, he sounds like Mufasa. So you'll get an idea.
Right.
How drunk he is.
That might be true,
All the
Tasty.
beers at Taps are carbonated with helium.
All right, 888-401-BEER if you want to participate in Drunk of the Week. In the meantime, we're going to play Scott the Jew's new beer game for us.
It's called Can the Casters Guess the Brew.
Okay. Please explain to the brewcasters how this works.
I'm going to read a description of it's a specific type, not just a type of beer, but from a certain brewery and you're going to have to buzz in with your name. So, for example, Justin, if you know it, then you buzz in by saying Justin.
Okay.
First person to buzz in with their name gets to guess. The first person to 3.
We're talking about beer
wins.
styles or specific beers?
Specific beer.
Made by a specific brewery.
Correct.
So, do we just guess the brewery,
you got to guess the beer. Yeah, you got to guess the beer.
So you're just going to keep reading the description until someone
buzzes in. And if you buzz in and you're wrong, I will just continue reading the description.
So it's the name of the beer?
Okay.
Yes, the beer. The beer. Okay. All right.
Terrence, please help Scott decide who buzzed in first.
Yes.
So when you hear the names out, so that there's no confusion.
And Justin, who am I playing for today?
Okay, let's do that. By the way, how do we know?
By the way, just pointing that out for no reason.
How do we know when we've won?
First to 3. First to get 3 correct.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. JP is playing for Blow Bev.
Blow Bev.
Is that right, Beef?
No.
Blobber. Oh, Blobber.
Blobber.
Well, it looks a lot like Blow Bev.
It is.
I miss
Blow Bev.
him.
That says Blow Bev.
I have kind of crappy handwriting.
All right. All right.
Mr. High
Sammy,
Quality
just take
Microphone himself.
Yeah.
Nate is playing for Death Rider.
Death Rider.
Yeah. Nicole is playing for Spelt.
Isn't that Paul Brown?
Spelt.
That's Death Rider, yes. Yeah.
Yep.
Nicole's playing for
Paul.
Spelt. I am playing for Stinkfist.
Oh.
The old Stinkfist, which is a lot more intense than the Stinkfinger, by the way.
Well, it's 4 more.
Yeah.
Intense. On the intensity ring.
Tasty, you are playing for Evan Burke.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Evan out there, and who's also getting married soon, or just got married. I wonder if we'll make his vows.
Sucker.
Because right now, Chris just went to our favorite listener list because we made the wedding vows.
No, I like Evan more. He lives in Washington.
Who's
That's
Evan?
where Forks is.
Who's Evan Moore?
So much closer.
Okay, so you're going to list off, you're just going to start reading descriptions, first one above it. So you buzz in with your name. Nicole, practice now.
Nicole.
Perfect.
There you go.
She's got it.
She does got it.
All right.
All right, here we go. It's their brewmaster's interpretation of a Belgian-style strong golden ale.
Justin. Damnation.
Got it, from Russian River.
Wow, nice one. What is wrong with you?
That's what the first thing that popped into my head, too. But
Well, you didn't say Nicole.
God damn
Who's
it.
tallying my points? Me?
You got a pen in your
You
hand.
don't want me to do this. I will lose count.
I'll do it.
You're gonna be. You can't. You're doing that.
I can't either. Yeah, Tasty.
I'll do it.
All right,
But
thank you,
Tasty's
Tasty.
competing. He's going to rig the scores.
Nicole doesn't trust Tasty. He's got the most trustworthy face in the room, and Nicole's like, fuck that guy.
He's gonna look up and go, oh, I won.
All right.
Yeah.
That was quick. Let's see if you can do it that quick for the second one. Available from August through October only. It's a darker version of a traditional Bavarian wheat beer. Dark amber brown in color, this brew is coarse filtered, leaving a notable haze and offering a dense, white, rocky head.
JP?
Yes?
Is it the Dunkelweizen from Gordon Biersch?
It's from Sam Adams, but I'm giving it to you. Dunkelweizen.
You can't give it to him.
We only had to name the beer.
Yeah, you only had, you see, you screwed yourself because you only had to say Dunkelweizen.
I thought you said you had to name the brewery. That was what you said earlier.
No, because Justin just said Damnation, and I came in with the yes from Russian River.
All right, we'll give it to him.
I think we should give it to him.
Yeah,
Good
give it to
I
me.
would have rang in sooner if I knew I didn't have to name the brewery.
He's running the game. Let him decide.
Is she on our list for Drunk of the Week?
Yeah.
She needs to be.
Yeah. Okay. It features
Justin Bovistu. You did
Doc's calling in.
Yeah, that's what Nicole just sounded like to me. Carry on.
Okay. It features distinct notes of chocolate, espresso, roasted malt, and black barley. It is robust and full with a big roasted finish. It's as black as the nearby volcanic flow from which it gets its name.
Oh, Justin.
Nicole.
Okay. Justin's he got you. Right? Justin was first, right? Yeah.
It's
Nicole.
Is it coconut porter from Maui Brewing Company?
Incorrect. It is 6
Blackbeard Porter.
No, it is not Blackbeard Porter.
Oh, can we buzz in twice?
I don't know.
Okay, carry on.
Well, that's...
Maybe if everybody buzzes in and gets it wrong, then we can come back.
Can you say it again?
Yeah, sure. I said it features distinct notes of chocolate, espresso, roasted malt, and black barley. It is robust and full with a big roasted finish.
JP?
Yep.
A coffee stout?
No.
I just went for the long shot of maybe they named it whatever the fuck it was.
I figured that you would get it from it's as black as the nearby volcanic flow from which it gets its name.
So it's from Kona, but I don't know the brewery.
It's not from Kona.
No, it sounds like it's somebody else.
It seems like it should be with volcano, but no, it's not. All right, no one's going to get that one. That's my description. So I guess we can move on to a different one.
Well, you're going to tell us what it is?
Okay, yeah, it's Obsidian Stout from Deschutes. So you got the brewery right, but not the beer. All right, moving on. Let's see. Brewed in Texas.
Bevo, you can play with me. You're on my team.
JP's count? Mine didn't count.
You just said I could play with you.
Because you didn't. You guessed the wrong beer.
So chime in if you know it.
Yeah, that's going to happen.
Okay, brewed in Texas, this festive Martzen-style seasonal has a deep amber color and slightly toasted flavor. The initial rich malty
Nicole.
aroma. Yes.
Shinerbach.
Yeah. Sort of. I mean, it's close.
Nate.
She's going to light you on fire if you don't give it to her.
Yeah, it's Shiner Oktoberfest from Spetzel.
Oh, Nate got it closer. You're getting your ass kicked later, Nate.
I'm so fucked.
You're getting that.
Hopefully.
You're getting that bottle opener right up your ass later.
Nate's going to be by himself, but I got the bottle opener.
Shove it up your ass.
All right.
I just want to point out we have a three-way right now.
Yeah,
we do.
JP,
Shove it up Nate's ass.
Myself and Nate are all tied.
One each. Okay. A classic all-malt pre-prohibition style lager.
Sorry.
Classic all-malt pre-prohibition style lager. It comes in a stubby 11-ounce bottle like your grandpa used to buy. Yes.
It is Session from Full Sail.
Got it.
Yeah.
Session lager.
JP, you should have known that one.
Well, I did, but I'm like, is it pre-pro? I didn't even know that it was a COP.
I only knew that because I just read the sign they have at the local liquor store. They have one of the promotional signs.
Oh, that's weird. The stubby bottle Scott thing. Just did, too.
Yeah. All right, well, Justin gets one more and he wins, so you guys better make sure you buzz in before he does.
Damn it.
Whatever.
I hate Justin.
We don't even have buzzers.
So do I.
Its signature copper color results from the unique blend of specialty roasted malts. The pronounced citrus floral hop aroma comes from the liberal amounts of Galena, Cascade, and Mount Hood hops added to each brew. A crisp, refreshing Hawaiian-style beer. 5.9%.
Hawaiian-style beer.
Justin.
JP,
You let Justin beat you again.
Yeah.
All right, Justin wins if he gets this right.
Beats me a lot.
I'm going back to Maui Brewing Company with their IPA, their Wipeout IPA, whatever the fuck it's called, Longboard, something IPA.
Nope.
JP.
No.
Yep. JP,
is it the Pale Ale from Kona Brewing Company?
That's correct. Fire Rock Pale Ale from Kona.
The Fire Rock.
See, just my look,
Well done,
I
Jipper.
totally got it.
You did. You just looked at me like I'm an asshole,
Yeah.
and you just got that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. You got two now, Jibber?
I got three. I win.
You have two.
Oh, damn it.
This smooth, sweet, dry ale is somewhere between wine and mead.
Sweet and dry?
Yes, sweet, dry ale, somewhere between wine and mead. This recipe is the oldest known fermented beverage in the world. Yeah.
Midas Touch from Dogfish Head.
Correct.
Oh,
Nice
Nicole
one.
comes in, not to be shut out, like Tasty.
Like Tasty.
Tasty's keeping score.
Read them slower then.
In Tasty's defense, he's a true home brewer. He sticks to the homebrew side.
Yeah, ask me a homebrew question.
Right.
It's brewed with tons of pale malt and just enough caramel malt to provide a sweet malt body to balance the hop intensity.
That's every beer.
Brewed in Boston with copious amounts of...
JP.
Yeah.
Is it Sam Adams Boston Lager?
No.
Damn it.
Brewed in Boston with copious amounts of Chinook, Centennial, Simcoe, and Amarillo hops. Amarillo? Is it Rillo?
Yeah.
All right, I didn't want to sound like an idiot.
Nobody knows.
But
for
I
sure.
didn't. I
It's
did
one
anyway.
of those things.
Depends on
At
if you're
various
Mexican
points
or
during
not.
the boil to create a complex hop flavor and a clean, lingering bitter finish. It's 10%.
Man, I think I know the brewery, but I don't know the beer. I'm not helping
Well,
you.
there's no penalty for guessing. Tasty.
Yeah, tasty.
Cambridge IPA.
No, sir. It is an IPA, but not the right one.
Nate,
ship you up.
Can't give a fucking clue.
Harpoon IPA.
That's from Maine.
Let's see.
No, I believe that's from Boston, isn't it?
Yeah, he's right. It's
Yeah.
Levanthian
I'm
Imperial
so
IPA by
wrong.
Harpoon.
You
No,
can't
he's
give.
right.
You can't give clues.
What?
You can't give
This
clues.
is my game. I can do whatever I
That's
want.
retarded.
Do we now have a three-way again?
Is it
We have a
2-2-2?
three-way.
I think it's
I think
2-2-2.
so.
I think Nicole's only got the one, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Get one more, Nicole. Make it.
I think we should all
All
take
right.
one.
All right.
Make it a four-way.
This is an aggressive beer. You probably won't like it.
JP.
JP was in.
Arrogant
Terrence
bastard.
says JP was first. Arrogant bastard is correct. JP's the winner.
That was a gimme.
You may all praise me now. Let's go around the room and give JP compliments on his wiener size.
Wow. I thought Justin had that game all wrapped up.
Oh, I knew that one too, but JP finally woke up and
that was a
quick
good
on
one.
the
You
draw.
guys all buzzed in at like basically the same time.
Justin doesn't wrap anything up, you know what I'm saying?
All right, JP wins. Who was the person from the chat room? That was your. Who were you playing for?
Blobber bleeby blooby blobby.
Blowbev,
he's so
Oh, he's going to
it.
call in with his microphone again.
Yes,
Blobber.
All right, that's Can the Caster's Guess the Brew.
I like it. There should be two facets of winning, though. One is that a listener gets to win, in this case, some Belgian candy sugar, courtesy of Dark Candy Inc. But also, we all should have to do something toward the winner. Like JP was saying, we have to praise him,
Right.
or there should be a punishment
You're right.
for the rest of the
I'm not doing
broadcast.
anything for JP.
Even if it involves just being quiet?
Rub his belly.
I'll like hang out with him for 5 minutes next time I see him.
Touch the belly.
Go rub that thing. You
All right.
get it.
God, it's so creepy.
Everybody has to rub JP's belly.
Or just give me like a cane and a scepter.
Come on, pull out the belly, JP.
Oh,
we all
you're
have
a
to
good
rub.
boy. Just
No,
rub
naked
the
belly. It has to be a naked belly.
Yeah, just belly. Oh, just a belly.
Yeah, you gotta get that
I'm gonna
thing.
get the mic on it.
All right, get it. Yeah, get that. Yeah, you get that thing.
Oh,
All right,
good boy.
Tasty,
Just a
rub the belly.
Ah, just
Come on,
a
everyone's
belly.
got to rub the belly. Yeah, everyone has to rub the belly.
Oh, it's a belly.
Okay.
Belly. Oh.
Nicole, everyone's got to rub it. Come on,
Get over here with that
everybody.
big. Oh, I want that big. Oh, get close to the mic. Oh, just a belly. It's really so creepy in here right now.
I don't know who's creepier, Nicole or JP.
Never thought I'd say that.
All right. Good job, JP. Round of applause for JP.
I didn't play the game. I don't have to rub your belly. But I'll do it anyway.
Click on the buzzer.
All right. And our Canadian friend Blowbev gets
He should change his name really to Blowbev.
Yeah.
Just like I'm going to change mine to Cock Popper.
Cock popper. Cock popper.
right.
I love her. Can she come back more?
Every week, as far as I'm concerned.
Bevo, I think, is taking this death vampire thing too seriously because she is cold and fucking clammy, dude.
Nobody believes me when I say I freeze over here. There's
Her
a reason I'm in a
hands
sweater and a blanket.
Let me
like
see. Let me
blocks
see
of
the.
ice.
Is there anything showing through the shirt there?
Is your
Yeah,
neck
because
hurt?
I'm going to show you that.
Why not?
Yeah,
We're
right.
all friends here.
No, we're not that close friends.
I like how Sam stuck his head around the corner because he hasn't seen those nipples in as long as me.
It's just skin, Bevo.
That is not. Oh, you don't remember? Okay, fine.
Oh, this is serious.
Sam's never getting any again.
Damn.
Again. All right. Am I missing anything here, Scott?
Let's see.
We just gave away some candy sugar.
Next week, we're going to do cigars and beer.
I am supposed to remind you of a giveaway?
We just did the giveaway.
More beer giveaway.
No, the more beer
Oh,
giveaway.
the more beer donation giveaway.
Notice the inflection because I wasn't really sure. I was like, giveaway?
Okay, that's true.
Giveaway?
And we also have to figure out who Drunk of the Week is.
Oh, I think we know.
No way.
Why don't you listen to this while I find who our winner is?
Watch me burn. Well, that's alright because I like the way it hurts.
I'm going to rap the song.
Oh, do it, B.
Just gonna stand there and hit
Do you know the
me
words?
right.
You know the
that
Eminem
last
part?
Alright.
One
Gonna
more
tie you to the.
Do it, Bevo.
Where he sets a bitch on fire?
Karaoke time.
All right,
Go.
do the beginning first, then I'll move it.
The way you lie.
I can't tell you what it really is. I can only tell you what it feels like. And right now, it's still like in my windpipe.
Come on, B. You can do it.
As long as the wrong feels right.
It's like I'm in flight. High off of love, choke from a hate.
It's like I'm
Love and pain. More
I suffocate right before
What a bit.
I'm about to drown.
She resuscitates me. She fucking hates me. And I love it. Wait.
Where you going? I'm
Wait.
leaving you.
I forgot it.
No, you ain't come back. We're
Make
running
up some
right
shit.
back. Here we
Here, I
go.
want you to do the angry part at the end anyway.
I love the way.
Don't make me.
Now I know we said things
Did things.
that we didn't mean.
You're like the third Beastie Boy. You just say the every eighth word.
You're like the dude in Office Space in his car, man.
Isn't as crazy as it seems? Maybe that would happen when a tornado meets a volcano. All I know is I love you too much to walk away, though. Come inside. Don't you hear sincerity in my voice when I... Justin is such a chick.
Sam's getting pissed over there because she knows the song.
Drywall next time. There won't be no next time. I apologize, even though I know it's lies. I'm tired of the games. I just want it back. I know I'm a liar. If she ever tries to fucking leave again, I'm a tire to the bed and set this house on fire.
Yeah! That's all I wanted to hear. Sam, you better watch it. She's gonna light you on fire.
That was so bad. I'm the whitest girl ever.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to tie her to the bed and set the whole house onto fire.
Yeah. It's almost polite. It's cute when Bevo says it.
It's
Oh, set the big guy on fire.
She's like reading messages, and Ted called, and he wants you to call him back. Oh, and then this happens again. I'm going to set the belly on fire.
Kim said I'm like a child with autism trying to rap.
Oh, wow. She would know.
Set the building on fire.
All right. We do have our winner for the More Beer donation giveaway this month, courtesy of morebeer.com. You can go over there and explore our wonderful sponsor.
Do it. Please explore.
They give away something every month to our monthly donation people, subscriber guys and girls. And this month, they've given away a Hopback, one of Tasty's favorite devices. What is a Hopback exactly, JP?
I thought you were going to ask Tasty.
I threw it to you. I twisted it.
It's a container, and you put whole hops in, and you run it hot from your boil kettle at the end of the boil before your chiller, and it kind of infuses with a little more hop aroma.
Nobody understood that. Could Tasty please explain?
Wow.
No, I couldn't explain any better than that. That's pretty much it.
Wow, it's like Nicole's a regular cast member.
I know, right? To start harboring hate for her now.
Do you still use a Hopback for most of your brews, Tasty?
Any hoppy beer I do.
You do.
Like the lagers and stuff, I wouldn't. But
yeah. Janet's Brown requires a Hopback?
Oh, yeah. Well, it requires one, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so a brand new Hopback courtesy of More Beer, as well as More Beer organic cotton hats.
Yes.
I love organic hats.
It's Nate and Nicole approved. And the cotton.
Is it dye vegetarian?
Sweatshop labor approved.
Yes, the cotton only ate vegetables when it was growing.
Yeah.
Which really kind of makes it...
I think
soy ink.
Made out of tofu.
Were the producers paid an equitable wage?
You are a hippie.
No, but you can buy them at the Berkeley Bowl.
Your winner.
Oh, that's great.
The winner is...
of this month's More Beer donation giveaway...
JP...
Raymond Gerard.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Congratulations, Raymond Gerard. I will be sending you an email whenever I feel like it, and then you will get yourself a Hopback, courtesy of More Beer. Thanks to More Beer, our wonderful sponsor.
Yeah, and the hat.
Oh, the hat's wonderful.
Is that my voice or Nicole's? I can't tell anymore.
I don't know either.
Okay, Casey from Where the Mormons Are From has a brewing question.
From hell? Right, Terrence? Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Casey, what's happening?
Well, I wanted to make 2 points, if that's okay, or a question and a comment.
Go ahead.
First?
Well, I wanted to congratulate JP because it looks like you finally are excelling in some game other than guessing your number.
Right.
So I'm pretty proud of you there.
Thank you.
I'll agree with you on that.
You're progressing, and I think we all are really
shocked,
blessed.
Well,
to
that was
see it
actually
happen.
sincere.
Shove it up your ass. Thank you.
All right. Next, Casey.
All right. The brewing question I had was I've had this beer fermenting for about 2 weeks, and for the past 7 days the gravity hasn't gone down like at all. But I'm still getting like a lot of activity from the airlock.
All right.
So I'm wondering if there's something going on with it or not, or because it tastes fine. It doesn't taste like there's some sort of infection going on or anything like that. But it's still bubbling away. But the gravity has not gone down in 6 days or something.
What's it at right now?
It's at 10:20. Which is almost where I thought it was going to shop at, but
did it
it's
stop
still
at?
going.
Was it a Saison strain or a Belgian strain?
It was the English ale strain.
English ale strain.
Huh.
Okay.
What gravity did you start at?
1080. So it's close to where I thought it would be.
Have you been?
But it's
What's that?
You could be outgassing CO2 still.
Yeah. Are you raising the temperature of it?
Well, I thought that, but it's going like almost like it's, kind of the tail end of activation, but it's all the yeast is flocculated out. It's really bizarre. I've never experienced this before, and ever.
Consider try rousing the yeast and see if that, because it looks like there's some type of activity still, but it may be just CO2 escaping from solution.
Get down and just talk dirty to them.
Yeah.
Get them aroused.
Mm-hmm. If there is CO2 in there, it'll shake it out. You can eliminate that. How often is it bubbling? Like, are you using
I actually set and timed it, and it's about once every 20 seconds.
I think it's just off-gassing what's in solution.
Well, 80 to 20 is not bad.
Especially for English, right? I mean,
yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, maybe you want it... What style of beer is it?
It's a wee heavy. I'm just doing a Scottish strong export.
What do you want, that 16, 18 maybe?
What does it smell
That's what
like?
I was going for.
What does it remind you of when you smell it?
Fine. It tastes fine. But, like I said,
Does it remind you
I'm
of
almost ready to
breasts?
say
That's
screw
what
it
I
and
wanna
drink
know.
it.
Right. Do you taste the sample when you take it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. It's good. I mean, it tastes the way I expected. I've brewed this recipe before, but I've never seen a beer do this before.
All right, so what temperature is your ferment? What temperature are you at right now?
I fermented at 68 degrees.
And you're still at 68?
Yes.
I would raise it now. Of course, I would do that even if I...
You would have done it 2 weeks ago.
Well, in the second week, I would raise, especially in English yeast, to help clean itself up.
Can you do that?
Okay.
Can you raise the temp?
raise the temperature to force the
I
issue.
can raise the temperature, yeah.
And if it's still got some ferment left, maybe you'll get that other 3 or 4 points in JP's thinking you might need. Get it down to 116 or so. Mm-hmm. If it's still fermented.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. To me, I would just fucking keg it and drink it.
How does it? Yeah, how does it taste? Does it taste sweet or?
You know what? It doesn't taste sweet at all. It tastes exactly. And this is the screwy thing, because honestly, everything about it is fine, and I would totally keg it except for the airlock activity.
Yeah. Oh, then keg it.
Seen that?
I think it's done. Yeah, maybe it's done.
I would say rouse it, and if it gives off a whole bunch of gas when you do that, obviously there is gas in the beer, and that's what it's been off.
Okay. Okay.
Keg it.
I'll give that a shot then.
Right.
And then when you're done kegging it, drink a lot of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll drink a lot of it. I'll let you know how it tastes.
And then throw it back into the keg.
Did you do something different with the yeast or the yeast starter before you pitched it that you think you might have had a bigger pitch of yeast than usual?
I was concerned that I overpitched a bit because I brewed 10 gallons and I did about a 1 gallon starter on it between the two carboys. So, not a huge one, but
I don't think so. I mean,
that's probably about right.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, if it's more than usual,
Yeah.
maybe it's just different than what you were expecting.
Yeah.
I've had this happen before. I think I brought this up on the show a while back because I thought that I was still having activity for way too long, and I was. You guys told me the same thing. Like it was just gassing off. Even when if you dry hop a beer, you can get some activity that way.
Absolutely.
So, keg it. It's fine.
all right, then I'll do that.
Thanks,
Sounds
brother.
Good.
All right.
Thank you.
Later. How about Lady Gaga?
I'm going to be here for Halloween.
You are?
I'll be bartending at the Travis if you want to come see.
That'll be hot. I'll
That'd
come
be
see
super
that.
hot. It's on a Sunday afternoon.
Do you like this one, JP?
This song's great.
This song
Who doesn't
sucks.
fucking like Lady Gaga?
Well, how
song is
come
horrible.
I was thinking about that today, JP. Why does everybody like Lady Gaga?
Because she sucks so good.
The same reason everyone likes
That's what it
Coors
is,
Light,
isn't it?
too.
She sucks in that way that's just awesome.
She has
It's like that.
Poppy-
Like Jersey
it's
Shore.
perfect. Exactly.
So I should like her.
Poppy bubblegum. There's always been shitty pop, and she's shitty pop. She has one album, and they're making every song a single.
Right.
Every song
yeah.
is now a single off of her album.
Right.
It's fucking awesome.
This is the only one I've heard. Is Alejandro good?
I don't know, but Poker Face is awesome.
Alejandro's good.
Alejandro's not good?
So it sounds like we should listen to it.
Is Telephone good?
Yes.
Telephone has like a 20-minute video or something.
No, I don't need
It's
that.
pretty bad. Beyonce's in it. It takes place in a jail. It's
I don't need
awful.
all that noise. What about Paparazzi?
Paparazzi's the most famous one.
It is? I thought
Paparazzi's
Poker
weird.
I thought Poker Face. I was
I
just
actually like her new
really?
one, one of the newer ones. The
Tasty.
just
Do you
Bad
like
Romance.
Do you like Lady Gaga?
Bad Romance. That's the big
I really
hit.
like
yeah.
I'm
Bad
not a
Romance.
fan, but I do. It's all right. Yeah, it's okay.
Everybody has
She's talented.
some place on the palette for Lady Gaga.
She's got some Madonna in her. I think that's pretty
Tasty's
cool.
more of a fan of Lady Gag, if you know what I'm trying to say. Huh?
She's just like, I mean, she's not that good of a singer.
He even did the hand motion to represent.
She's an okay singer, but she's like a really, really good performer. She and Justin Bieber are the only 2 tours that sold out.
Is this another phone call for me?
Yeah, I just finished typing.
Justin Bieber.
You just finished?
Yeah, isn't that terrible?
AJ from Patchouli, Berkeley, is on the line. AJ.
AJ from, we know this dude.
Hey, AJ.
Tell us, AJ, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. What's happening?
First of all, I don't know
it smell
why
like
you
patchouli?
guys
Because
are
it smelled like patchouli right now where you're at. That's what
yeah, exactly. I appreciate those comments earlier. But why are you guys talking about Lady Gaga, first of all?
Good question.
Because she sucks so good.
Well, because I can do anything I want, basically.
It's Justin's show.
Yeah, it's our radio show.
And I saw a passing picture of her. I got a boner. I thought I'd play it. Whatever. What else you got?
Sounds about right.
Cock popper.
Earlier, Nicole said something about tasting lawfully, and then she wanted to beat up Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously now, totally into sours. So, I mean, how does that process happen? Do you just force yourself to try to like something, or...
No, I don't think that's it. Actually,
I didn't do that, buddy.
Goodbye, AJ.
Hang in there, AJ. We'll answer your question. But
Hopefully
I
you're
didn't.
still listening. Actually, we were just having this conversation at the bar last night. I had this guy. There's these couple of guys that come up from San Jose, like once a month, and they come up to the Trappist and they drink a bunch of beer, and like one of them is a designated driver and drives home.
How long is this going to take, Nicole?
This is going to be pretty short. Thanks.
All right.
Is it?
Anyway, so
shorter than Docker.
So these guys, one of them loves Flanders Reds, and the other one thinks that sour beer is the bane of existence. He's all about beers like this, alcohol extra, like a Belgian dark strong ale, something with a huge yeast complexity, but that doesn't go into the sour realm. And his comment was that those sour beers are an assault on the palate. And I said, yes, you're right. Because like what we were talking about earlier, we are so sensitive to those flavors of fermentation, especially when they get into the quote-unquote spoiled realm.
Right.
And sour is definitely sour, horsey, all of these flavors that we get from Brettanomyces are definitely in that spoiled realm. So it is an acquired taste, and it is an intense palate experience. So yeah, people that like those kind of flavors are looking for that really intense palate experience where it's just beating you in the face with the flavor.
Right.
You can't ignore it anymore. It's kind of like...
Sort of like Imperial IPAs are.
It's intense. It's intense, it's strong, and it's in your face. And some people are into that and want to have that on occasion or at the end of the night. At the end of the night, I always opt for a sour beer rather than a really strong one because they tend to be lower in alcohol and still intense and rich and flavorful. But some people just aren't into that. They don't want to go there. They don't want to go into that realm of tricking their brain.
Thank you, Nicole, for participating in today's show. It was nice to have you here.
I'm dead now. Thanks.
So much quicker than fire.
That was awesome. All right, but yeah, it's explosion. There you go. I'm glad you appreciate it, Justin. Thanks for having me.
A wonderful description, actually. I want to point out that my first sour beer I loved. It kicked me right in the teeth. It was very offensive, but I loved it.
Mine too, actually.
Some people like that right off the bat.
Yeah.
I'm always surprised when I hand somebody, I'm like, well, if you've never had a sour beer before, this isn't a beginner sour beer. It's this application from Russian River. It's pretty intense. And I hand it to somebody, they're like, oh, wow, this is awesome. I'm like, okay, you just like it,
Yeah.
Was that AJ again, Beavis?
No.
Oh, who is it?
No,
Blobber.
me.
Hi, Blob.
That was me.
Hi, Blow Bev. What's happening?
Hey, sweetie.
Blobber.
Thank you, JP.
I love you.
It's not Blobber anymore. It's Blowbeeb.
I miss you, Blowbeeb.
Yeah. Good job.
Well, you guys
I'm not
sound
even offended by
terrible
that.
That's a switch. He's switching on us.
Well, you
Justin.
shouldn't be.
I don't understand.
What can we do for you,
I wouldn't
Blob?
be.
Are you going to sing a song to
Sam might.
about your new name for us?
I'll get him hot and show him what I've got.
The line's actually, I'll get him hard.
I'll show him hot and I'll show him what I've got. You can't read my, no, she can't read my poker face. She's got me like nobody. Can't read my, no, can't read my poker face.
Winner!
Got me like nobody. My poker face, my poker face.
A poker face.
What are you wearing?
Sounds like you're singing the
me version.
It's probably wearing someone's
Should
blood.
anybody be asking such a question? I am wearing no pants.
No pants.
I love you, Nicole, and I love you, Nate. And this has been an awesome show, by the way.
Hell yeah,
Thank you.
Blobby.
Terrence,
One for the archive.
Blobby.
Terrence just fist pumped. I bet he knows. I bet he does GTL. You do GTL, Terrence? Gym tan laundry? Yeah, he does. There's the fist bump. All right, Blobber. Thanks, man.
You're very welcome.
Terrence probably does GLL, Jim Lighten Laundry.
Oh.
Aww.
You think he bleaches his sphincter?
Yeah, I would.
If what?
I don't know.
If someone offered it to you?
Yeah. Why not?
I know I would.
Well, then if
What
you're
the hell does that mean?
well, if you don't have a flashlight, probably I don't know.
Okay, as fun as it is sitting in a closet with cold air blowing on me.
Tell me about it.
Okay, we need to pick our Drunk of the Week winner. Your contestants
Blobber.
for tonight are Sean from Illinois, I think he was. Thief from I forget. Thief was from Orange County.
Yeah.
Sean from Illinois, he had 8 beers, was doing pretty good. Thief from Orange County had 9 beers, a lot of them really strong.
And Thief called back and he was like, we got disconnected. And it's always my favorite when I have to explain to them,
You didn't- yeah.
you got hung up on.
Right. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Thief. But neither one, they both refused to set their wives on fire to win, so I think it's pretty...
Thief had a lot more to drink than the other guy did, for sure.
And then, of course, there's our very own Nicole, who's also in the running for Drunk of the Week.
What do you mean?
So, Nicole, didn't you win Drunk of the Week last time you were
Yes.
here?
No, I never saw a medal.
So you didn't win officially?
No, some other guy won.
Okay.
She got close, but...
Just so you know, because that affects things,
Well, what did Nicole have to drink?
Nicole, would you like to give us your resume?
I had half of a 33 centiliter bottle of Aqua Blonde.
What did you drink before we got here? You
And I
should go
had
on-
about half of this Aqua Extra, and that's pretty much about it.
What about before? Oh, at the picnic. Didn't you go to the Doe's picnic?
I really didn't drink much because I knew it was going to be on the air.
What is not much?
Professional.
I had like a
never thought of not
case
drinking.
of a really nice Hefeweizen
Yeah.
from Jeff from Mad Zermages. And I
Okay.
had a really excellent lager from Steve and Mark from Doe's Club.
Okay.
And I think I tasted a couple other things, but that's about it.
Well, on resume, she doesn't win.
Weak resume?
But on
performance.
And let's take into consideration she's 100 pounds lighter than everybody.
Right.
Are you saying she's fat?
No. Yes. She is one fat cow.
Yeah, I'm
I
about
didn't say
120.
it. I didn't say it.
You're not 120. You're lying right now.
Soaking wet.
I work out.
Oh, so what?
That is not what I meant.
Where's all that?
Don't be a creeper.
Hey, Vivo.
Where's that 20 pounds hiding out, Nicole?
It wasn't her hair, but she cut it.
In the muscles. That a girl. Beef, who's on the phone?
Oh, I was going to send it to you. It's Wood.
Hey, Wood.
Cock popper.
Hello.
How are you, brother?
I'm great. I wanted to say awesome job, Nicole. Great job. And I love Nate and everyone else there, especially Nate and his hair. And I wanted to
What
see if
about
I
Terrence?
could... well, Terrence I love equally well, but that's between him and I.
Okay.
And he knows how I love him.
I love him.
I like how he points out equal.
Yeah. I love him 5/8 as much as everybody else.
Okay, go on.
Well, I was inspired by Bevo's rapping, and that reminded me of my vows from our wedding. And I wanted to just read them to you really quick.
I would love that. Do you need sexy
Okay, here
music?
goes. No music, just absolute silence as usual. And then I'm going to do a shout out at the end.
Okay.
Real quick.
Absolute silence.
Okay, here we
please.
go. So absolute silence. Here we go. Now, I know we said things, did things that we didn't mean, and we fall back into the same pattern, same routine, but your temper's just as bad as mine is. You're the same as me, but when it comes to love, you're just as blinded,
baby, please come back. It wasn't you, baby, it was me. Maybe our relationship isn't as crazy as it seems. Maybe that's what happens when a tornado meets a volcano. All I know is I love you too much to walk away, though. Come inside, pick up your bags off the sidewalk. Don't you hear sincerity in my voice when I talk? Told you this is my fault. Look me in the eyeball. Next time I'm pissed. I'll aim my fist at the drywall. Next time, there will be no next time. I apologize, even though I know it's lies. I'm tired of the games. I just want her back. I know I'm a liar. If she ever tries to fucking leave again, I'm going to tie her to the bed and set the house on fire.
Ah! When I told you it's a volcano, all I know is I love you too much to walk away. Now come inside, pick up your bags off the side.
You see, I wrapped it in white girl status. He wrapped it in a
Jewish
little
mother.
Jewish woman.
Yeah.
Jewish mother.
Did you,
East Coast.
He just channeled your mother, Scott.
Yeah, like my mom basically sounds like Woody Allen.
I feel like I'm in the Bronx.
Can I do my quick shout out real quick? I appreciate the applause, but I have to do the shout out really quick.
Carry on, go ahead.
A quick shout out to my friends. Oh!
Wow. A wonderful job, Wood.
I love him.
All right. Who doesn't love Wood? Right, Nicole?
I do.
Nothing even came out.
I know I'm going to come in here later on to do the archive, and Cock Popper is going to be missing.
Nicole's going to waddle out of here.
She's going to hide it in Nate's ass.
Yeah.
Oh. It's the last place to look.
Put a cock around.
I'll let her pass out.
I did. Oh my god.
All right. Tasty needs a nap. We got to go, huh?
This is almost as big of a train wreck as the Jersey Shore.
What are you talking about, Bevo?
I got to go. I got like 6 episodes of Jersey Shore waiting for me on TiVo.
We gotta go watch some TV.
Yeah.
Huh?
Let's all compare our abs.
Oh, mine is it's so small, Jim.
I always like when they show the guys
Have
getting
you ever
ready and
even
they're
heard a
blow-drying.
person from New Jersey, Nicole?
I don't know.
I don't fucking know.
I'm in for
Sorry,
Nicole.
Beeb, I didn't mean to cut you. All right, so yeah, we need to vote. Okay. Everybody raise your hand if Sean from Illinois was the winner of Drunk of the Week.
He did good. He did well.
All right. No, not Sam is voting for Sean.
Sam doesn't know what he's voting for right now.
What else is new? Thief from Orange County. Raise your hand.
Thief is definitely the drunk of the week.
That's 10.5%.
He had like 9 years.
All right. And raise your hand if Nicole is drunk of the week.
Come on!
As usually, Bevo
Especially
votes
after that.
twice. We'll give Sam a two vote
Each
status.
one of my breasts get a vote.
Oh, come on, guys. Thief definitely.
All right. You should vote for each breast and each nipple, and then you could sway this vote.
What about the clit? I get to vote.
Oh man,
JP, why do you always have to be
mistake.
so offensive?
It's just flesh.
Oh my god.
It's just skin. No one knows where, but it's there.
Like, I don't think I blush at all until I come into the studio, and then
Well,
I need to do a PSA real quick. I'd like to apologize to our guests today, also sponsors of the program, for JP's vulgarity. I know the rest of us were really, I think, professional and respectable.
remember when you told my nipples to vote?
was it the word?
That was like 5 minutes ago, Justin.
Also, I think that the chat room should also have a vote.
Okay.
They are pretty much unanimous that Nicole.
See?
Well,
come on.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, though, even with that vote,
Thief is definitely in the running, though, still.
Thief actually got 6 votes, now including the 5th vote from the chat room, and still giving you 2 votes and Sam 2 votes. Nicole still only got 5 votes.
Can my prostate vote?
No.
Sure?
No.
It's really, really inflamed.
It's swollen enough, yeah.
It has a big hand.
It's real irritated.
No. Winner
poked
of
at a
Drunk
lot.
of the Week this week is Thief from Orange County. Good job, my brother.
Nice job, Thief.
All right, Thief. Send me an email with your information, and we'll send you some. We'll send you a Drunk of the Week medal.
Stuff.
You don't get Belgian candy sugar because we gave that to Blow Bev for winning the game.
That is if you haven't passed out.
Right. If your friends aren't urinating on you for passing out again.
Oh, look, he passed out again.
All right, good job, everybody. Nicole, once again, sincerely, I thank you for being in here and teaching us about tasting. You did a great job.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Please come back
Always a pleasure.
anytime. And you can bring Nate. It's okay.
I mean, seriously, a pleasure.
All right.
No, you should come back.
Well, with that, you don't need Nate.
Scott, good job. And GTL for life, everybody.
For life.
Thank you. All right.
GTL.
Should know how to get down. Double and triple on my best friend. I think I'll have them all over again. But don't you give me that American crude. For the one a real homebrew. Homebrew, don't you really love that homebrew? Can't get enough of it. Homebrew, it blows my mind. I love homebrew all of the time. Yeah, I think I'll have me. Well, I'll have me one right now. Give me a wheat beer on a hot summer day. A bark will do me when the skies are gray. I'll take a Belgian brew anytime. And the women think the lambic's fine. But don't you give me that American crude. Boys, I want a real homebrew. Homebrew, don't you really love that homebrew? Can't get enough of it. Homebrew, it blows my mind. I love homebrew all of the time. Yeah, I think I'll have me. Well, I'm the one right now. Cherry stout, yeah, you know